Alright, looks like... Alright, looks like... Alright, looks like... Okay. Looks like everything is recording fine. Sure everything's good to go. A little hair on my microphone. You suckers. Alright. Back into playing.
All the decadent horrors I have seen pale in comparison to that final, crowning thing. I could not look, nor could I look away.
What's up, guys? I'm the Blue Titan, and welcome back to another episode of Darkest Dungeon. So, the last episode we were on here, we actually ran the gauntlet. We fought, I think, something like 6 bosses. I did a count afterwards. In my video, I kept saying 3, and I realized why, and that's because I had recorded across a few different recordings over that weekend. Yeah, we fought against a few roaming bosses, if you count those 2. We fought against the Shambler and the Thing from the Stars, so I'm kind of including those 2. But besides those, we also fought against 4 regular bosses in-game. We beat the crew. They have a special name, like the Sodden crew or something, but each variation of it has that same name. It just has a different adjective associated with it, so I'm just going to call it the crew. So they had the crew. We beat the 8-pounder, or I guess the Brigand 8-pounder. I think it goes up to 10 and 12, I don't know. We beat the Siren, and then we beat Wilbur and his big swine 2. Highly edited content with very quick-paced, faster clips, a lot of edits. The other is specific to long-form content, unedited, unscripted, just me playing the game all the way through with all of the behind-the-scenes essentially right there in your face. So anyway, that's all I want to say now, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get into this because I've been excited and ready to play this most of the week, and I've been trying to kind of keep a set schedule to kind of keep myself interested, but also to kind of keep myself on schedule to release every single week. So it's now the weekend, so I get to play and have a lot of fun. So if you're excited to see some Darkest Dungeon like I am, let's go. All right, so last time we were here, like I said, we did a bit, a lot of work. We found quite a few good items here. Did you see that? How poetic is that? We just started the level and it became day. That's funny. Right after I got done talking. But yeah, we found some good items, right? And I'm really excited to play around with a few of these. So we got the Martyr Seal a few episodes ago. We got the Holy Orders, which I'm not a big fan of, and I looked a little online, and a lot of other people feel similar to me. It's a very strange item, right? Like, it requires you to play almost like the reverse of what you would do normally with a Crusader. Right? You're intentionally putting him in danger in order to, like, get the value out of it. And then there's that weird, like, you want him to go to a virtue and you want him to kind of be stressed out, but you're also, like, taking less stress, so to get him to that point is harder. But then once you do get him to that point, then it's like, if you fail the virtue chance, and it just feels like the whole item's useless. I don't know, it's a very strange item. If it triggers and you do get virtue, I could see it being interesting, but I still think that there are much more reliable things that you can do with very low downside by comparison to that. So it's a very weird item. I don't know if there's... Somebody will have to let me know. Maybe if you know, you can let me know in the comments, or somebody can link me something. But I can't really find anything online. I was looking around online trying to see if anybody else had any brainchild for what you could do with Holy Orders, but I wasn't seeing anything. As far as other items, one of the very last things we got was the Ethereal Crucifix. Can't remember who we got this one from. I think it was the Hag. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I think this item is really good, and I think a lot of people kind of sleep on it because it's not a rare tier item, and in the rare tier is usually where you associate these 25% buff abilities. This is literally just another Eldritch Slayer's Ring with slightly better upside due to the fact that it decreases your blood resist, or your bleed resist. Now, yes, it massively lowers your max HP, but you don't bleed anymore, which means that the health that you do have, you don't just slowly bleed out. And that can matter a lot, because bleed, by my estimation, I don't have the exact numbers on this, but I would venture a guess that bleed is one of the more prominent status ailments that you can get in the game over. It's certainly more common than horror. I feel like it's more common than blight, which is the question. But anyway, looking at the other ones here, we found Junia's Head. We got Ancestor's Candle. And was there anything else that we also got? We also got the Mercurial Salve. Yeah, so there were quite a few really good items we picked up, so I'm feeling pretty excited to kind of get into this and see where that kind of leads us. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and look in here and see who we have around, because it's been a week and I haven't really looked in the stagecoach and I forgot where we were. So yeah, okay, we increased the size of the stagecoach to be 4 people, which is good. So we see 4 people a week that we can possibly take. Perfectionist is pretty bad. Protection's pretty bad on this character. Hard Skinned in general I'm not hugely fond of, but it is serviceably decent on a frontliner. It's just not great on a character whose entire kit is based around dodge. It just feels, you're basically slotting for 2 different abilities simultaneously. Dodge is like, I don't want to get hit, and then Hard Skinned, which is the protection, it's slotting for protection. It's like saying, I'm gonna get hit, but I'm not gonna take a lot of it. So dodge and protection are almost like at odds with each other. You don't want to be a Renaissance man. You want to be really good at one and not so good at the other, because you're giving up opportunity cost on the other one. Musical is not that great. I'm just not very big of a fan of this character in general, especially because the thing about Perfectionist isn't such a big deal if your character is almost entirely focused on buffing your own team. Or Perfectionist would not be a bad thing to slot on a Vestal, or in some cases even a proper a proper defensive version of the oh my gosh, I wanted to say, why is my brain wanting to say Jackal? I don't know why my brain's wanting to say Jackal. It's clearly the Jester. Jackal? But yeah, the Jester, as well as a defensive, more team-oriented, supportish, Houndmaster, who's focused on howling and doing all these other things, like healing his own teammates and stuff. But even this character, though, still is more of aggressive. He hits enemies. And that would be the same kind of argument I'd make for the Occultist as well. While you could play the Occultist more of a defensive kind of player, or just lean heavily into the weird transformation, I think is what it is, or weird reconstruction, the healing part. It's not really where he does his best or shines. He's got a lot of aggressive abilities, the Occultist, that can tear apart the armor and stuff of people, which you can see here. You remove the damage that they do, you remove the protection that they do, or over here you decrease their dodge. So Vulnerability Hex and Weakening Curse are both aggressive support abilities, and Weird Reconstruction targets your own teammate. And so my argument is, I wouldn't want Perfectionist as a role on any character that was going to be heavy on attacking the enemy or even targeting the enemy in any way. And really, there's not a lot of classes that can get away with that. You can do a weird version, a heavy battle ballad version, a heavy, inspiring tune focused version of the apparently the Jackal, the Jester in my head. I don't know what's going on right now, but it's not the best. And then you can do it with the Vestal. So really the Vestal's probably the only person I can think of in the game that's an easy pick on the Perfectionist, and that's only if you're playing her that way, because she's still pretty decent an off stunner. What I mean by that is a secondary stunner who's not the main stunner on your team, but can also help your other stunner whenever they have one target they want to stun, and you might want to stun 2 every once in a while. Looking at this, Guilty Conscience, not a big fan. Paranormania, not a big fan of. Unholy Hater's okay, but again, on this character doesn't make a lot of sense because he's dealing bleed, and Unholy are characters who can't bleed, and so having a buff against that, you might think, oh, well, it kind of makes up for his weakness. Not a big fan of that. I would much rather my character hyper-focus on a specific thing he's good at. Warrior of the Light's great. It's just, I don't know if it's worth rolling that character just for that, or taking that character. I've already got 24 people, so... at this stage, we're not at a point where we care about things like Will Tactician or anything like that. It's okay. Extra healing received is not terrible in a character who has a few heals, but a lot of the times this character's primary focus is not healing. It's stunning, it's tanking, it's attacking the enemy. It's not being the healer, it's being healed, being the health battery that gets healed by the Vestal and otherwise. The obvious situation is you want your Weird Reconstruction to target him and heal him for 14, rather than him spend his turn healing himself for 3 or 4 or 5. That's pretty weak. It's serviceable, but not the goal. Alright, so I'm not really too excited about anybody that's in that crew. I will say it might be worth taking the Flagellant just for Warrior of the Light, and then I could always re-roll or get rid of one of these other abilities. And I could see that argument in general, because we've had a bad string of luck when it came to Flagellants. We lost 2 of them. Well, we lost one of them. Our first 2, might not even be true if it was our first 2, but I know that at one point on our roster, you can go back and watch an episode before, we actually had nobody on our roster with the Crimson Curse except for the 2 people that were Flagellants that were obsessed with blood, which is kind of funny. I say obsessed with blood because of the blood mechanic, or bleed mechanic. I'm going to take Monseigneur, I'm guessing, French. And then from there, we will look and see what we rolled for items. Oh, right. Before we left, I think I bought a few of them, so there's not a lot here. We already have this sharpening sheath, so this is going to be a pretty easy one. We're going to skip past that. We're going to be able to go out there and get a quick look and see what we need to do for missions. Maybe I'll refamiliarize myself with what's going on in the blacksmith real fast. So, nothing that I can upgrade here. And then in the guild, nothing I can upgrade yet, but we're getting close. I mean, but at this stage, though, I'm also at a point where I could reasonably be convinced to not spend any more portraits until I get to 50, because at 50 is when we get the ability to upgrade or buy the bank from the blueprints. And we already have a blueprint, and I'd like to use that and get the bank, because then I can kind of like relieve a little bit of that stress I have from having to constantly, you know, keep money around or go get more money. I can spend more time going after items and other things like that, and then money no longer is the same amount of stress as it was prior to that. All right, let's see what we got out here. So the last time we were here, we said that one of the things we need to go do is beat the, I don't know how to say this word, Intuit. I'm guessing it's Intuit flesh. I've never heard that word before. I'm actually curious what that word means. Let's go look that up real fast. Intuit? Intuit. Just begun and not fully formed or developed. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, yeah. So it's like some kind of a amoebic, or I was going to say amalgamic mass. Is it amalgamic? That's a word, right? Amalgamation. Amalgamate. Yeah, amalgamate mass, yeah. Combine or unite to form an organization or structure. I'm not crazy. My brain just pulled that out of the ether. But anyway, yeah, so it's kind of just a big blob of cells. It's just kind of this gross blob thing. So, and it's constantly growing and spreading and all that. But that's an enemy I do want to go beat, but I'm just not sure if we really want to run in there right now, because almost every person we have on our team is either 0 or 3. We're kind of in this weird spot where we graduated a bunch of people, and now we have a very young freshman class of people who I don't think are really ready to go in here and fight a boss like that. Particularly because this enemy is a little bit harder to like plan around, right? Because this enemy, as I remember it, constantly changes forms and has like 4 different body parts that can like draw from a pool of different parts that it can like spawn and become and change while the fight's going on. And so if you get the wrong roll of people, I mean, sometimes in the wrong abilities and the wrong setup, you might really just get torn apart. So I think I'd rather take a second, go do some other missions really quickly, and just fast level some guys and get some guys caught up here. It's probably not a bad idea to do that right now anyway, because we just got a lot of good items, and we can probably roll through some lower level missions and get some good stuff here. One of the things I'd be interested in going after would be the Sacrificial Cauldron. I think this item is real. I think it's a good item. 20% extra damage flat in all cases is great. On the Occultist, just great. Extra stress is honestly not that big of a deal. I mean, it just isn't. The Coven Signet is an okay item. I really feel like minus 25% stress if the character has a Crimson Curse. It's a strange thing to think about, right? Because when you have the Crimson Curse, most of the time I'm not thinking about your stress levels. I'm more thinking about the fact that you need blood. And very rarely am I really trying to bring a person with the Crimson Curse with me. I'm certain that there's some value in it, like as we saw in the previous episode when we went up against old Wilbur and his Swine Prince, big Holt friend. We saw whenever you have it triggered correctly what having the thirst and then feeding that thirst by giving blood to the person can do. An extra 25% attack steroid is insane. But you can't really plan around it. It's kind of finicky. It kind of happens. Sometimes it doesn't happen. I mean, you can, because you can keep walking around, just keep walking back and forth in the hallway until it gets triggered, and then you can kind of gamify it. But it's not as reliable as a lot of other things. So minus 25% stress to me, it's also weird because it's not minus 25% stress produced by the individual with the Crimson Curse. It's they themselves getting it less. But when you bring them with you, you're going to have other people catch secondary stress from them freaking out because they have the Crimson Curse and say outlandish things. So I don't know. I'm just not super excited by this. I feel like for me to want to run something like the Coven Ring, I would much rather have something similar to... Well, I don't actually think I have the item, but there's an item that the Abomination we saw in a previous episode had. It's some kind of a locket that decreases the amount of stress that your teammates gain whenever they see the Abomination change forms. That would be what I would want to see, something on the, this Coven Ring, Coven Signet. something that would help the team not feel so stressed out, which I guess is a little strange because it's not really, I don't know. As a trinket, I say item sometimes, but as a trinket, I don't see why the locket would be able to help your team, and this one would not as well. I don't know. Not a huge fan of Coven Signet. I think it's okay. I mean, I don't even know if I'd run this over just a pure damage item. Like, I don't know. I might be completely off base on this item, but I'd have to see some numbers or experience what it's like to use it, but I don't like it at first glance. I am interested in going to grab either the Intuit Flesh's Sculptor's Tools, because I explained at the very end of last episode that I don't have a clue what this is for. Like, I know of one enemy in the whole game, I think in the ruins, once you get to higher level tier enemies, you can see, I think gargoyles spawn, but I haven't seen anything else, so I'm surprised. I mean, this 40% is a huge bonus, but it seems very niche, and it makes me think that there's something that we haven't run into, some kind of like a special, maybe another level, another place in the game. I doubt that. Or again, another location, right? Like that's all like stone people. I don't know. That seems very strange. It also seems like it would be very cheesy to make an item specifically dedicated to taking that place out, because then once you have it, it's trivial. But I could see it being like maybe a boss in the darkest dungeon or something. I don't know. This is a weird item. Versus stonework. It makes me also wonder if maybe you'll be able to like destroy columns or some other weird thing. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But looking at the rest of this, though, I think realistically we're probably going to run on in here and either do Quick Draw Charm. That's almost a tongue twister. Quick Draw Charm, Quick Draw Charm. I almost said the wrong thing there. Either that, or I'm going to go in here and do the Sacrificial Cauldron. And I honestly think it's semantics. There's not really a reason to pick one over the other. But if I do pick this one, the reason I would pick this one over the other, they're both long missions, is because it has a lot of deeds, and deeds are something we're hurting on. I think that's probably where I am going to go. Plus, this item is generically good on every person that uses the item. It can be used on like the Houndmaster for a quick, dog charge. It can be used. That's probably not the strongest use of it. It can very, very easily be used by the Highwayman. Very easily be used by the Grave Robber. I think this would be good for both of those characters. You could also make the argument it would be decent on somebody like the Abomination, or somebody that's just immediately starting off by thrashing two people. You could do some crazy stuff with that. Just take out the front line. Because if you throw this on the front liner, right? And they start off by immediately knocking two guys out of the fight, you can straight up just win half the fights you're in by just absolutely obliterating their front line before the level even starts. Or if you put it on like your sniper, you can take out their stress dealer or something like that. I think this item is really serviceably decent. I think it's a solid item. So I think I'm going to go for this one if I have the people to do it. Again, this is a long mission. Long missions with level zeros is kind of questionable. So I'm going to look and see what I have. I can bring Evel. That would make it more feasible. Although I'm going to need to bring some blood to make this character make up for that. And we'll go ahead and give this character the accuracy ring to make sure that we're optimizing our damage dealer and our kind of carry as best as we can before we get in there. I don't need to organize by that. I wanted to organize by rarity. So I think the Berserker Mask, and I think the Focus Ring here. And the reason I'm thinking this is because I want to make sure that he's accurate, because he's going to be our big damage dealer, and we want to make sure that the guy who we're relying on is the guy who we can rely on, right? Elsewise, you could make an argument for a number of things here, but Shieldbreaker's okay. Again, I'm not really looking at the perks right now, because the quirks, right now the quirks in these characters aren't the greatest. We're just kind of trying to level some people up or get through some missions. Let's sort these guys by their level really quickly and see. I am kind of curious about. I'm wanting to do this mission because of the item, but the reality is I also want to make sure that the people I'm leveling up are people that are worth leveling up. Paranormania is not the greatest. Known cheat is fine. I don't really care about known cheat at all. Ruminator's not good. It's not great. It's not awful, but it's stress heal received minus 10% is actually going to affect you over the course of a mission. The Obsessed with the Paranormal, I almost said Paranormania, is not my favorite. I might actually take a character with us that, I didn't mean to click her. Take a character that can be a support in the back. Maybe it is her. We haven't really brought an Antiquarian with us in a while, and though she's not really best at this location, we already have quite a few people who can deal damage. I didn't mean to pick Contenville. Although, this is the Wield, not the Warrens. Natural Eye, misses the spots, not the greatest. We could bring these two, just have these two characters here, and then just have the other two do almost all the work, and then the other two just focus on, like, you know, de-stressing and removing marks. This is actually serviceable because removing marks works a lot on this mission due to the fact that they have those little mushroom guys that shoot out I don't know, they're like some kind of a poisonous spore that, like, puts a mark on you, and then after that there's the big mushroom guys that rend the mark and deal an enormous amount of damage. So she could basically spend the whole time just removing marks from people and then healing while the antiquarian is constantly increasing our dodge, and then have the other two characters just, he deals a lot of damage, our leopard does, and then have our shield breaker deal damage to the tankier guys where we need it. Yeah, I think that's fine. I could see doing that. All right, so let's go ahead and select some items for these folks. I've said it already. I think I have. It's pretty reasonable to just put a lot of damage on these two characters right now because these two are going to be our primary damage dealers the entire time through. After that, it really doesn't matter what we're doing here. Everybody else, I think, what I'll work on is trying to kind of just keep their stress levels down. These two up front are going to take more stress than I would hope, but we need to get through this mission, and these two folks, that's what their job is up front. That's what they're trying to do, is get us there. Antiquarian, I think we don't actually have her marbles anymore. We lost those a long time ago. We lost her marbles. I don't think it really matters here. I guess dodge if I could find it. 15 dodge if the torch is above a certain amount. Yeah, I like the camouflage cloak. That's good. And then after that, stress-wise, maybe something like the Book of Unholiness. I'm picking this specifically because she's already got huge amounts of dodge. Well, I say huge amounts. She's doesn't have a huge amount, but whenever we... Oh, yeah, she has plus 15. You don't see it right now because the game doesn't ever add the plus 15 unless it's static to the character's base stats. This plus 15 will be added and calculated after because it's a conditional. Even though we're assuming that the torch is going to be lit, we can't guarantee that, so it doesn't automatically add that. Here, it really doesn't matter what we put on her because she's not going to be our primary damage dealer. She's just going to be healing. I could make an argument for a number of things. I guess maybe we switch her and put her on sniper duty. That's fine. Seems reasonable. Give her something like the solar crown here. Just keep their stress low. That's fine. It doesn't really bother me that much. It's not exciting by any stretch, but it's fine. Could also increase her range accuracy, but she's already got that with the sniper's ring. Yeah, I think this is fine. I don't think we need anything else on her. And we could just go like this. I need to remember this time, though, unlike what I've been doing, to bring with us some blood. Let me go ahead and level these guys up first, though. Try to level people up when you can. It's always 2 steps forward, 1 step back by leveling people, because I'm probably going to end up, like, you always end up letting 1 or 2 people go even after you level them up. Because they end up with, you know, the Crimson Curse or a number of other issues. But you really need to, like, you know, level your guys up, even if it feels like it's, you know, a marginal gain to not level them up and then just try to squeeze out a win without doing so, and you hold your money for something else. But if you level your guys up, I mean, just raw stats are enough to get you through a lot of levels, honestly it is. Everybody else is low level, so we can't even do that, so that's great. Great. It saves us money in the short term, for sure. He can level up his weapons, and we will certainly do that, because that is going to do a lot for us. And then we'll level hers up, and then everybody else is level 0, so you can see how that quickly spends a lot of money, but it is worth it because he's going to hit a lot harder. But don't forget, keep me honest here. Got to make sure we take that blood with us. All right, start out grabbing the blood here. I might grab 2. It's a long mission. I might need it. What's he already craving? He's not craving. Yeah, I think 2 is fine. And then after that, we'll bring our normal 8 torches, but it's a long mission, so we'll double that. After that, food, we usually bring 8, but it's a long mission, so we will double that again. And then I usually look at my team and say, do I have a healer? And the answer is kind of. So I usually bring an extra like 2 or 3 or 4 or so if I don't have a dedicated healer. In this case, I have like 1, so I'll bring a few more. I say I have 1. What I mean is I kind of have a half healer. The Arbalist, as well as the Musketeer, they can heal. Heck, I don't even have heal unlocked in this character. That's okay. We don't really necessarily need it. That's okay. That'll just mean that we should probably make more food. That's okay. And then after that, we'll make a few more random just things. because, you know, it always seems to be the case that you need a lot of these random things in places like the Wield. The Wield has, you know, the ways of giving you bleed, ways of giving you blight, ways of causing horror, all kinds of stuff. So it's worth it to kind of cover your bases. And the thing is, most of these are so inexpensive. I mean, 150 gold, grabbing one and then tossing it and then picking up an emerald later, I don't feel bad. You know, you're losing out on that emerald, or you're losing out on that 150 gold, but you're immediately replacing it with something. And the opportunity cost is, you know, your character lost an extra 4 or 5 health, or might just literally die. So it's worth provisioning and not trying to cut corners. I think we're good. I don't think there's anything else I really want to bring here. Yeah, I'm fine. Let's go. Blight and bleed, ignore an enemy's protection stat. Yeah, that's something we've talked about a lot. You got to watch out for getting bleed or blight on your tanks, because that's how they rip through you. Either that, or of course, if you have a high amount of protection. But that's kind of the rock, paper, scissors, something else that you could think of, right? You've got blight and bleed, which are actually kind of the same thing. They're just 2 axes of doing the same kind of thing, but you know, it relieves some pressure from giving a character blight or bleed resist. Because if you give a character blight resist and then there's only blight as a DOT in the game, or a damage over time, then all of a sudden blight resist is insane. But if you make it so that there's 2 kinds of damage over time, then blight resist isn't so overpowerful. But giving a character protection is like another way of like increasing their health, but it's different, because protection doesn't help against, you know, blight and bleed, but max health does, right? So different stats.
I knew all these paths once. Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions.
All right, long mission here. So it looks like we're going to go walk down and around the boot first and back up, because that's the way to touch all the rooms without having to circle back on top of the stuff we've already done. So we're just going to take the long path down first. It's a quiet hallway. Sure.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
It's kind of weird whenever you start a mission like that. It's just like nothing in that hallway at all. Oh, I could go straight over across, but that's going to waste one of our shovels for no reason. We're not going to do that anyways. We have no reason to. So this is what we talked about when we said that the guys in the front, these are the hyper tanky like mushroom guys that can rend the mark, but they need a person to be marked. In this fight, none of our guys can be marked by these guys. Their enemies have no actual meaningful way to mark us, so we can kind of ignore them if we had the ability to right here and just kill the guys in the back, and we will with the characters we can.
Decimated.
That's that raw damage, because he ignored 33% of the damage I just did there, but I still hit him for that amount. That's just his items doing an enormous amount now. We're starting to see what happens whenever you're properly, like, geared. Alright, here we can do a number of things, but I think it makes the most sense to just make everybody dodge. Because most of the time, like, if you can get a dodge or 2 out of it, it's worth more than just throwing out a random amount of blight on a backliner. Unless you're playing as, like, the Plague Doctor, who does a lot of damage with that. Not a lot of damage. This character also is not expected to, because she's only level 0, whereas the Leper's the guy who's going to be hitting like a truck. So we can definitely see why it's good to have an item on her, because if you look here, we have that Solar Crown. She's going to be taking extra stress, but she's going to take only 80% of what she would have taken, which is good. Dang, not quite dead. Look at her just get hit over and over and over again. She's taken a lot less than she would have because of what we did, though. She's probably going to get super stressed out this mission.
Confluence of skill and purpose.
Wow. All right, let's have her just kill somebody here. I think I'm going to have you kill her.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Well, that's nice. We got rid of some stress there too. All right, we might be able to actually kill this guy before he gets a chance to do anything here. I don't think we can, though. He's too fast. What I mean by that is we're not going to deal 10 damage to this guy unless we get lucky and crit. And then he's still going to get the chance to get the attack off. So I might just say the heck with it, kill this guy.
Their formation
13?
is broken.
Well,
maintain the offensive.
we got to attack anyway. Never mind. Didn't matter.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
I'm realizing now we had the antiquarian with us earlier. We saw that one light source. We saw that one torch, and it was like a torch curio that we got, and we gave up on a free minor antique or something otherwise. So we got to pay attention to that. Make sure we have her selected here. All right. Don't forget about that.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Quiet room. Okay, treasure room coming up. Use our shovel here. I forgot to bring shovels, guys. Oh no! Well, that's unfortunate. We're gonna try to avoid the old, Oh, wow.
Ambushed by foul invention.
Okay, unlucky. Man, I forgot to bring shovels. Thought I had everything. As long as you don't crit her, I don't really care if you hit her a few times. That doesn't matter to me. All right, let's just try to deal as much damage to all of them as we can.
Back
Nice.
to the pit.
All right.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Man, I cannot believe I forgot to bring... That's so crazy. And she's super stressed out already. I might just start removing her stress. Oh, she can't target herself with that.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. I might... What do we have for... Okay, we have 2 abilities. There's 2 abilities. Self-only minus a bunch of stress. Heal all companions by 20% health. That's interesting. So I don't have a lot of ways of removing stress. I have 2 abilities here. And removing stress from himself. That's okay. We're probably fine for a little longer. Man, I am not getting lucky with these just random chests. Sure. Yep. Like these torches. He's craving. Okay, that's fine. Is this a trap? Nope. I think I'm going to sleep in this next room here.
Executed with impunity.
Because the bleeds and all the other stuff that's been happening to us. I'm just intentionally letting my torch go low and use up one of these camps. Oh no. The reason I'm thinking about this is because my goal is to not get stressed out here, but I'm also trying to double up on use. Because we're about to go... We're about to have her go above 100 stress right at the beginning of the mission, and I don't want to have that. And that's...
Begone, fiend.
Well, that's good. Having her de-stress herself every little time she does that is fantastic. That's a huge thing for us. But if
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
If I don't stress right now, that's... Oh, a shovel too! This is a lucky find. Okay, this kind of changes my mind just a little bit here. I can take these 2 things here, I guess, and then after that, maybe drop the onyx for the holy water. Actually, I'll probably take the shovel over the onyx. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh no, onyx would definitely replace the citrate. What I was trying to say though was I was intentionally allowing the antiquarian to get poisoned out, and then I was going to go sleep and then immediately kind of get back some health, and then after doing all of that, kind of offset the fact that, you know, we had just taken all that damage on the chin anyways. But the reason I was thinking about doing that was because I was trying to kind of have a real justification for the antiquarian, or I guess the antiquarian, the arbalist getting some help, because she needs some stress relief, because we got hit really hard early multiple times by backliners that did stress damage. All right, I think we'll push one more. Oh, that shovel's nice.
Nature herself, a victim to the spreading corruption.
Found it, use it immediately.
Malformed
Man.
with misintent.
Yep, obsessed with bodies. All right, are you still craving? Yeah, I guess I'll give you a blood. I need to sleep here. I might sleep in this room. Although we're gonna get
close in tenuous firelight.
We're gonna have a nightmare.
Easy companionship.
We're gonna have a nightmare here. That's unfortunate. All right, we will have you remove her stress here, and I want you to do the same thing. And then after that, I think. This is interesting because we're going to get attacked here in a second when we go to sleep. And so I kind of want to put us in a position where we can be ready. As much as possible. I think that's the best way to do it. Why is she... Remove blight. Sure. It's not exciting, but... Alright, we're gonna get attacked in the middle of the night. We already know that, because of her visions.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Yep, it's expected. That's fine.
Sand and serpent choke out hope of wholesome reverie.
Alright. We will attack the one that's... Maybe I'll just use... The thing is, I want to attack this one because he's got riposte. If I attack him... See, this one says guarded by Rattler. So this one's guarding that one. He's being guarded by him, and so he's got riposte. And it's kind of this unfortunate thing where it's almost like what the... what's his name? The Man-at-Arms does. The Man-at-Arms does. So he's kind of protecting both of these characters, so we're going to get bit no matter what we do if we attack there. So I'm just going to try to hit them all. They'll have high levels of blight resist, which sucks too. Well, Impale doesn't actually care about that. It doesn't actually deal blight. That's weird because it looks like it does. It's like green. That's alright. Yep. We knew that was going to happen. They're going to spam us nonstop with bites, and they probably have really high probabilities of infecting and blight and all that stuff with these guys. Okay, attacking your own teammates is not great. Just kill this guy fast. It's already at 4, which is good. So when we do attack him next, he should just instantly die, which is big. All right, now let's go ahead and start giving people dodge. It's a little late, but we want to start stacking it when we can. And then here, we can't. None of these effects are affected by the rallying flare, which sucks. That's all right. Let's just take out one guy real fast. Just kill him. Now he can't do the riposte anymore. And then I guess there's a few things I could do here. I can't really attack him because he's invisible. I might just heal. Doesn't feel like the greatest use of his turn. And then with her, I think I'm going to use the effect that gives her more ability to block. The one downside about this ability is even though she's got 2 blocks, if the enemy attacks her, she can still be poisoned and bled. We saw that in a previous episode, which was unfortunate. That kind of was annoying to me. Well, she dodges it, then it's even better. Alright, let's try to... just keep giving people dodge. I want to kind of avoid the repost if I can, as much as possible. Now, she's dodged twice. That's making that ability look even better. Alright, so I can de-stealth. I could have de-stealthed earlier. I didn't know what I was doing. This would have de-stealthed the enemies. I forgot. I didn't use the rallying flare for that purpose the last time we played, so I'm not really thinking about that. Alright, let's just shoot one of the characters who has no defense.
Destroy.
And it also removes some of her stress. That's even better. Nice. And then now he has the opportunity to actually kill somebody if we can. Not quite, though. 10 damage. That's not a lot. I'm surprised it's so low. All right, here. She has bypass stealth too. I need to read my abilities. I have two people that can ignore stealth. All right. Let's just kill this guy if possible. Doesn't matter if he can bite, if he can't even attack. He's just dead. All right. You know, an interesting question that I don't know the answer to is, I don't know if, that's an interesting question. I don't know if we sleep again if she gets affected by a dream a second time in the same mission. It's an interesting question. Such exquisiteness must be admired, they say. And so I am made to dance for their desperate, dust-pitied faces, for their watery, bloodshot eyes, their cracked, grinning lips. I am not a person to this debauched audience. I am an exotic wanderer. Or an exotic wonder, my bad. I'm a beautiful thing. So I'm guessing this is written from the point of view of the Shieldbreaker, maybe, and why she came to this land? I don't know. Right, that's a lot of items, so many items. It breaks the UI, it's so many items. Let's just try to take what we can. We can take everything except for this one item, which is the item, of course, we're going to be taking. We'll take this for sure. It's a unique item. I have to take this. I mean, I don't have to, but I'm absolutely going to. And we're going to take it over... I'm going to drop the Onyx. I'd much rather keep this one blood, even though it seems like it's not that great of a deal, because we're going to get enough money anyways from the Antiquarian, because we have minor antiques and we have rare antiques, so we're okay. But we need to keep the blood just because if this character goes over the edge, we need to make sure that we support him. He's our main damage dealer, remember? All right, Antiquarian, she's looking at this. So yeah, we're probably going to heal again soon.
For a task well performed.
We're literally probably just going to go to sleep again in like a few battles. Because that mission, those nighttime events really tear you up.
We require only the strength to follow it.
Alright, again, really sucks that we did not bring ourselves a shovel. Although this thing doesn't interact with shovels. This thing interacts with, I think, the antidote. Oh, look. She got lucky anyway.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
I'd love to take this, but I don't know if this mission is about crests. And I'd much rather keep these Aegis scales because, you know, these are not replaceable in any way. Although there's a journal page, that's pretty simple. You can just drop the journal page. Oh. As soon as we pick up a shovel, we use the shovel. I'm not going to complain. The second we find one, we get the chance to use it. That's highly efficient. But it does show how on the razor's edge we've been about, you know, taking on an undue amount of stress. We've been pretty lucky that we've dodged. We've seen, in both the cases that we've seen a thing that's in the way, we've been lucky enough to not have to dig through it by our hands, which has been very nice. Okay. Hit your own teammates. You seem to like to do that.
Another one
2
falls.
damage is hilarious. Oh, come on. Leave her alone. Nice dodge. Alright, take out the other one. Good. This thing... I don't know if there's really anything better for the Antiquarian to do here than just poison. Sure. The Blight Charm is certainly not going to stay in our inventory.
Victory, but a victory nonetheless.
I can promise you that's getting dropped soon. So we're going to do this fight, and as soon as we do this fight, we're going to immediately sleep one more time. So I'm not going to use my torches because we're going to get the chance to use them anyway. All right, so this is a great example of a level where we want to take out the Fungal Scratcher immediately. First off, we're not going to hit the Rapid Gnasher by odds are we're going to miss it because the leopard doesn't... A giant swinging sword does not hit an agile dog as easily, so we're going to try to hit this guy and take him out immediately. Didn't do it, but if we can kill him before he starts consuming the rended marks from these guys in the back, I'm for it, so. He likes to apply bleed, which sucks. Yeah, that's see, only 1 damage, and now he's marked. But it doesn't matter, because we just killed the only guy who can consume marks. I don't care about that. Alright, and then here... I guess we could do this a number of ways. I'll probably just... I really don't know what the best option is with this character, because I guess I could do something like this. Protect me, and then increase her dodge. I don't want her to take any more damage. Starting starting to really wish I had brought some heal on this character, but I didn't want to spend the extra money to do that, which is probably a mistake. Alright, kill this dog, please. Oh!
Powerful blow.
Well, we hit him. If he does hit him, he hits him. It's just, it's not very common to actually hit the dog that easily. Yeah. Huge amounts of resist here. I might be able to kill one and then the other one die here. Is that greedy? I might just attack this one.
Annihilated.
Better. Alright, sure. So again, as soon as I'm done with this, as soon as these guys get done getting affected by every negative ailment known to man, we're gonna heal real quick and then go to sleep. We need it bad. Actually, I'm gonna have him heal. Because if I can have a person heal, I'm gonna do it when I can. Oh man, she's getting whooped.
Obliterated.
All these status ailments, man, ripping us apart.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Let's sleep now. Before she goes to death's door for no reason.
A spark without kindling is a goal without hope.
Alright. We're not really here for the stress relief. We're more here for the fact that people took a lot of damage. And then we can do other things like we've been doing. We can use stress relief stuff. There's no reason not to. And then here I might just go ahead and use all companions plus 20% health. Not an often you get the chance to use that and it be valuable, but in this case it is. Is there anything else? Oh, wait. She has the ability to remove blight and bleeding. Fantastic. Wow, that's great here. All right, anything else we want to do here? I guess the obvious go-to here would probably be just to go ahead and give him extra accuracy and crit, so he just kills anything he sees. Because she's probably going to be doing other things. I don't know. It's kind of debatable, right? Because he already hits for a lot, so he's going to kill anything he hits. And then he's like 90% of the time going to kill anything that he hits. And then giving him this reflection ability, like, guarantees that he'll never miss, but it's not a good use because he doesn't get any stress relief from it, and he's already pretty accurate anyway, considering what the items we've given him are. But if we go with her and we give her restring crossbow, extra range, extra damage, all these other things, it makes her a damage dealer for the next 3. I think this is a better choice. Even though she's not our primary damage dealer, like, and it's less efficient in total damage, I think having her be a reliable person to take out some of the other characters is probably better. Alright, we are out of firewood. Yeah, sure.
The light.
Okay.
The promise of safety.
Well, I just learned something new about the game I've been wondering. So, her event will only trigger, I guess I should say who her is. The Shieldbreaker's nightmares will only trigger once per mission. It looks like.
A fortune waiting to be spent.
Which is good. We don't have a shovel, so we're gonna walk. Oh god, look at this. Look at this unfortunate situation. Look at this. That is just some bad luck. We have to go this way. That's just unfortunate luck.
Without tools of iron, you must rely on flesh and indefatigable purpose.
I mean, come on, man. We had 2 different ways we could go, and both ways were blocked by a tree. Now we have to use our torches pretty liberally because we don't have any more ways to sleep. The worries. What does that do again? Oh, just extra stress. Yeah, whatever. Alright, this dude is... Oh yeah, he's not thirsty anymore, but he's no longer doing extra damage. Alright, now if we see an obstacle, at least we have a choice. Interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna walk outside and just see what's here first. Oh great, this is extra food. We absolutely want that. At least a few food, usually.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Very much so worth it. We just got a whole stack of... Well, we finished our stack of food. That's very good, because when we get hunger checked, it's not going to punch us in the gut this time. That's a very nice find.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
That kind of changed, like, the tone a little bit of the mission, because I was sitting here thinking we're probably going to get walloped here soon. This is scary. We're going to get just hit by 15 stacks of blood if we... Oh, that's a nice dodge. Okay. Let's just kill one.
A devastating blow.
I could deal more damage across multiple bodies if I had done it the other way, but I'd rather just take out one of the main targets that's going to be bleeding us, because they're all going to apply bleed status effects. They always do. Just take out the, you know, characters when we can. Unfortunately, we couldn't reach the back one, but that's okay. Yep. And see, this is why it sucks. The Rabid Rush, multiple stacks of just bleed and bleed and bleed. It gets worse and worse and worse. That's how those guys will tear you up. These little Nashers, these Rabid Nashers, will absolutely destroy you if you don't watch out with the bleed stacks. And it's the fact that they get to attack instantly, yeah, like that. They aren't really themselves a challenge. It's more the fact that they can tear you down whenever you're already down, right? When you're low on health and when you don't have the resources to kind of offset that, they can just absolutely destroy you. That's funny.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
All right, just attack them. So what we get in this random hint here.
Ghoulish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
Okay, so I guess the map was just for the next hallway, which is unfortunate. Oh, come on, she's obsessed with dead bodies, isn't she? Brisa, what is going on? There were like 5 different things that were said there before she got the chance to actually look at the body. That was weird. I was gonna use some torches. Well, they're surprised, so it's okay, it doesn't even matter. Alright, gotta kill these guys quick because they apply all these negative status effects that are gonna bleed us out. That's what kills us. Take these guys out now, right now, right now. Okay. Yeah, we should be fine as long as she doesn't miss her attack. We're good.
Slowly, gently.
Oh, food.
This is how a life is taken.
Food's good here. I guess I'll use... This is kind of a weird situation. So I could... Okay, we learned this in a very, very early episode. If I use this blood right now on the leper who has the Crimson Curse, it's going to be wasted. It won't reset the counter. We saw that in an early episode, that using it right now would quite literally just set you up for failure. And then later on you're thinking, oh, I've already topped myself off. I can go a little longer without the blood. No, it'll just trigger the normal speed. This does not affect anything, any internal counters in the game. We experimented with that early. I'm going to go ahead and use both the torches, even though it's not a perfect use of it, and I still have 8 left before it gets to 50. So that's space for this.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
All right. Again, I'm liberally using torches because I want to make sure that we have the best opportunity to make sure we don't get crit on and stuff, because we don't have any recourse. Like, if we get hit really hard, we have no ability to just take a break, because we had to double sleep earlier because our poor shield breaker had her nightmare. Ooh. Well, we've got our 15 antiques. Although I was told by a viewer, I think it was Cole, a viewer was saying that that you could stack these in 20, which I don't remember, but I believe, I just don't remember it that way. Nice. I'm always afraid I'm gonna miss these guys because they have like high base dodge. All right, let's see if we can't give them high, if we can't use the dodge to our advantage this time. All right, just kill one at a time. Great. Awesome. Awesome. I don't know who I should hit here. It's fine. Yep. Yep. Stress is not my biggest concern right now. I don't like that, though. Okay, that's fine. He didn't actually hit us with it, though. Getting to attack twice is brutal. Sure. And stun? Lucky. Alright, maybe we can kill him. Not quite. Lucky. Lucky on their end. Stunning my shield breaker is pretty wild there. Alright, take him out. If these guys didn't have the capacity to infect you with the Crimson Curse here, I would 100% take a second to heal. But I'm not doing that against these guys. Oh wow, the Bright Tambourine.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Okay, just a random rare item drop for one of our characters. We'll take this for sure. That's gonna replace the Blight Charm. just get a free rare item, like for your troubles. I'll take it. The rest, I mean, I was gonna throw this blight charm at some point away anyway. That's great. Sure. That's nice, just finding a random rare item that's actually okay and usable. Make sure we click the antiquarian. Doesn't matter anyway, but it's a good habit. I'm just afraid I'm gonna run into a giant. Well, that actually has a double meaning. A literal giant, which is not what I meant, and then a giant obstacle is what I was going to say because of the fact that we don't have shovels anymore. But either one of those would not be great. Giants suck to fight against. They're just giant health batteries. Oh, so far so good. No, oh, there's a. All right, who has the higher chance of destroying traps here? 70%, 70%. Probably her. Ah, we got it. Good. Earlier we failed on it, so I was hoping we didn't see it again. This always gets me. Whenever somebody opens a trap and successfully takes it apart, and somebody else right behind him immediately takes like 2 stress, I'm like, dude, what are you stressed about? We just had an upside. Like, no, that's not how the game doesn't check that. But oh my gosh, yes, this is such a good find here. And use this. Look and see how much food I found here. Oh, that's great. Just start. Everybody can just eat real quick. We can just top off some food here. I might even be greedy and just, you know, get us down to like what, 8? She's full. Oh, that's incredible. Oh, they do stack to 20. Man, this is going really well now. That one find made a huge difference. Did you see how much health we just came back from? Man. Yeah, I'm not even worried anymore, and a surprise. All right, yes. Things are working out for us here. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to try to kill one of the guys in the back here. The main reason is because this guy up front is really just a big tank, and he's not so scary so much as he's just big and dumb and has a lot of health. It's the guys in the back that are the most obnoxious, because the second guy, the brigand cutthroat with the big, like, or I guess the single-handed little bastard sword, or I guess, like, I don't know what else to call it, that guy does a lot of damage out of nowhere. Again, he's got dual-wielding blades. And the guy in the back, he's actually surprisingly more annoying than people give him credit for, because the blanket shot that he does, his blanket fire ability, it like decreases everybody's chance to dodge, which then makes the guy in the front, the brigand bloodletter, it makes his whip more likely to hit on subsequent hits. So the longer the fight goes on, with the Fusilier, whatever, hitting his like blanket fire, the worse it gets. You want to take those guys out, because this guy, the bloodletter in the front, he's no real threat by himself. He's just huge. So I'm gonna try. I guess I'll use dodge one time here, because we're not gonna be able to kill anybody with if the antiquarian attacks here. The antiquarian's not gonna increase our clock. So let's just finish one guy off. We're gonna take one big hit from him. Yeah, see, he hurts. And he can also bleed, but he didn't this time, which is good. Point blank shot hurts, though. It does. It just only hits the person in the front. Alright. He has no dodge, or no armor, so I'm just going to attack the second guy. Because I care more about him dying, because he has more health. Or I guess I want to say he has more probability of like, dealing long-term problems for our team. Just honest, simple, 12 damage. Okay. Yeah, see, that's the one that you can bleed on her. Yeah, it can really add up in damage. Shank. Oh, nice dodge, though. That was a good dodge. We really needed that, because if she'd stacked another bleed, we would have been to have a whole different conversation about the rest of this mission. Nice. Finished him off. Hopefully we get to go first here. He's a slower guy, so, yep. Oh, I attacked up. I clicked too fast. I'm going to blame it on the DPI. Doesn't matter.
The beast. The greater the glory.
I moved my mouse super quick and accidentally clicked the body.
This expedition at least promises success.
This is good, but it's funny. We already have the survival guide, so we don't really need another one here. I guess the question here is, how many more rooms do we have? And I guess the answer is almost none. So we could just drop the torch here.
Struck. A blazing star is born.
We could very easily, very reasonably drop the torch here, or we could drop the medicinal herbs. I don't think the medicinal herbs have the same upside as the torches, though. Because the torches, while less valuable, I would like to just at least get a few more clicks in, because we've got, what, 3 more rooms? Yeah. The medicinal herbs are fine, but there's nothing really left in the mission that I care that much to find. We've already found a lot of... I mean, we found 18 food in this mission already from these, so they've already done their job. Everything else I want to kind of keep. Yeah, that's fine. Let's finish this strong. We're doing really well here. I want to give myself bad luck here, but I'm feeling pretty good. Ha! Ha! That's funny. You know, I just realized something. A negative quirk on the antiquarian is not curious. Obsessed with material things. She's obsessed with material things, so that makes sense. She's like a treasure hunter. Her being that character doesn't matter because if she searches a thing, then she's gonna find the rare. That's funny. It's obviously not still perfect because she might open a chest that you could otherwise use a key on. But actually, it's not as bad on her as it might seem. Okay. Yeah. We've actually been pretty fortunate. We haven't been getting hit by too many traps. Okay, I'm gonna turn this torch on. I might chance this one time and impale and see if I can't get a free cheeky kill in there. Good. Because that's gonna make it so that I can actually kill one of these with my antiquarian. That's awesome. They're gonna get to attack probably. Okay, you attack the one character that has a max, like a lot of health, so I'm fine with that. Alright, kill the one in the back, because you don't do a lot of damage anyway. Yep, that's fine. 1 damage when you stun her. Yeah, that's possibly the best outcome for that fight. And just kill it. Feel really good about that fight. Sure. Oh, food too.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Now I might actually drop the torch. Take this random blight charm thing, because it's slightly more valuable than what I have. The torches are, I'm already maxed out on torches. We're just going to continue adventuring. There's another room, I think, with treasure in it. Yeah, another battle coming up, another few. And we have max everything. Everybody's doing pretty well. I'm going to finish this off. Milk as much value as I can out of this mission. Alright, take out the guy that can stress people. Hit for exactly 13 makes me look really smart. Sure. Yeah. It is what it is. It's gonna happen. Alright, we'll just have him heal that off then. Because he has the capacity to do so. Nice. More food too, man.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
If we had taken all of the citrines here, we would have easily got a stack of 5. But that's still only 1,250 gold. Like, so bad. I wish there was a way to increase the value of those items. Oh, we're out of space. We can't take any more minor antiques. That's funny. Are they worth 500 gold? It's still possibly worth taking it, because if we find even 2 more, we might... I might give him the blood real quick. And just say the heck with it. He's gonna immediately be thirsty, watch. See what we get. Okay, so again, another one of these missions where we want to take out either the back 2 guys or we want to take out the second guy immediately. And it's the second guy in my opinion. Because he's the one that actually benefits from the rend. Take him out? No issues. Alright, and then I guess I'll poison the front guy, because he represents the second most damage in the fight. Sure, Rain of Blight. A little annoying, but not the worst. I mean, one damage. Oh, actually, it's more than I thought. Whoa. 4? Hysterical blindness? Okay, well, I guess I gotta give those guys a little bit more respect.
The ground quakes.
Alright. What does hysterical blindness do?
Impressive.
Wow, that is a lot of blight damage, my god. Minus 20 accuracy if the stress is above 70. Oh well, that's hilarious because it doesn't do anything to us right now. That is minus 20 accuracy is crazy. Okay. Let's just shoot him. Crit's nice. We're so low on health, it's funny.
Time to perform beyond one's limits.
I'm just gonna kill him. I could heal and be greedy, but... Oh, nice.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
This is interesting because the money is worth less than the emerald. but the odds of us finding... Are we going to continue? Are we going to go anywhere else? Oh, we got a free scout. Well, that's the end. There's really nothing left, and we don't know what these curios are. I actually think it's probably smarter to just eat the food real quick. And then just go with what we have here. I don't think there's any real reason to push a little further. I mean, I can. It's not hurting anything. There's nothing in there. I might get stress checked, but I don't care that much. Look at that. Look at this.
To fall for such a little thing. A bite of bread.
This is the kind of thing where a person that's watching this goes, oh, see? And that you deserve it because you were greedy. Come on. I literally said, I was like, we might get hunger checked if I do this because the game likes to do this. Walk out the door. I'm talking, we're talking less than 3 seconds. The game's like, yeah, you got me. Cool. All right. And then I'm going to have her check this real quick because we're out of here. And then now I guess we can take this bust if we want to, which I guess it's technically better than the keys, so yeah. Was it worth it? Yeah, I think it's worth it. It looked bad, but it didn't matter. There's no enemies, there's no chance of us dying here. So, a game control.
Every cleared path and charted route reduces the isolation of our troubled estate.
And that was a really good mission too, because look, I mean, look at the money. That's 2,800 gold. It's bad math, I mean, we got 30k out of that, but you know, I was being a little bit conservative in my estimate there. That's pretty good though. I mean, we didn't get almost anything for deeds or bust, but that's not why we went in that mission, right? You bring the antiquarian because you want money. But we also did walk out with, I guess, 9 deeds for beating the mission too, so that's still upside. Actually, we walked out, is that 12 deeds? Or, bad math, I meant to say. Well, there's 12 for Crest, but I meant to say 10 plus 9. Is that 19 deeds? That's not even close to 12. I don't know what I was saying. But that's great. And also, I do think the Quick Draw Charm is a great, serviceable early item. I actually think this is a pretty solid item. 12% crit is not a joke. People look at that and be like, yeah, but it's only the first round. You have the first round of every fight with this item on. This is like, for the first round, it's enough sometimes to just make your... I'd say your highwayman or your grave robber, or there's a number of classes that could use this. The arbalist / musketeer can just crit first round. This is crazy. This is a very powerful early item. I think this 1 in 8 shots will crit, right? First round. You add that with something else, then it's 1 in 4 missions. And if you're shooting it across multiple bodies, I mean, it can be devastating. What'd we get? Perfectionist is bad. We just talked about that. Infirm's not good. Clutch Hitter's a weird one. Clutch Hitter is the one I was talking about earlier in a previous mission. This is incredible on a few classes, right? The obvious one being the Flagellant, right? It's really good in the Flagellant, but I would say that as far as other characters are concerned, it's really mostly decent only on characters like maybe the Hellion, who kind of is like a mini version of that. Like, she's got that bleed out, or not that bleed out, she's got like, it's not like psych up. Psych up is the camping mission ability that the Abomination has, but it's some kind of like an adrenaline rush. That's what it is. I was gonna say it's some kind of an adrenaline rush ability. That's literally what it's called. That ability keeps her from dying on death's door because it gives her just a few little pieces of health, you know, just a little scraps, but it also removes the bleed and it also removes the blight. Basically, any chance that she could die this round, the adrenaline rush keeps her alive, which is really good. You add on that plus 5% crit when their health is low. She's like a mini Flagellant, but then the Flagellant with this is just disgusting. The Clutch Hitter, in my opinion, is one of the best things to roll on Flagellant.
Our family name, once so well regarded, is now barely whispered aloud by decent folk.
Okay, so the Shrieker. We've not seen the Shrieker yet, and this is a great time to talk about what the Shrieker is. In one of the first episodes, I talked about how if you lose a character and you lose your items, there are certain things in the game that are like forever. Like if the character dies, the character's gone. If you lose your items, you lose your items, and it's like it kind of feels bad. But not everything in this game that's gone is truly gone in every way, right? If you lose your items, they're gone, but ... I hinted at in the previous episode, there might be a way to get them back. enter the Shrieker. So the Shrieker's whole thing is, if you go do the character's mission, if you beat the mission, you will get back a random set of the items or the trinkets that you've lost in your previous missions, which can be very powerful, especially as the game goes further and further and that you start getting better and better items. Because I believe, though don't quote me on this, I believe it picks a random set of 8, but it picks them from the highest value ones. So if you've lost like 20 items, right, before you see the Shrieker, then you can get them back, but you're going to get the better choices, odds are, than other things, than the junk. But there's a few things to note, too. There's 2 kinds of Shrieker quests. There's the Shrieker quest, this one, which is really rare. It's not that common. And then there's the Shrieker quest that's all the time. So this one is a little different. I'll talk about this one in a second. Generally, whenever you see the Shrieker, if we go out to the missions and look at this, the Shrieker will always appear in the Weald. The Shrieker is a red mission like this. It can be different levels. This one's a champion level 1, but you need to understand how the Shrieker works before you go up against it or even think about doing it. The Shrieker essentially has 2 different versions. The first one is when you go and fight against it because you've lost at least 8 rare items, or I guess it doesn't have to be rare items. You've lost at least 8 items in your travels. We've luckily not done that, and that's because, again, I've played the game quite a bit, so I was able to avoid that tragedy for our team. But generally, you do by this point have multiple items lost, and so that's when the Shrieker first shows up. Your first exposure to the Shrieker is usually, oh, there's this weird bird level thing, let's go do it, and then you jump into it, and then the enemy immediately starts attacking you, and it's not actually a normal mission, right? Similar to like the courtyard being a little weird, there not being a traditional like torch, it's like bloodlight. Similar to like the farmstead being constant fighting and not really being a traversable location. The mission I'm referring to right now with the Shrieker is an immediate boss fight. You just go in and you fight the boss. That has a few effects, and one of those effects is that it's kind of treated different than a normal mission. So items can be lost when a character dies, when an item gets lost in a bad gamble or outright stolen. So as I was talking about, your items are never lost in this game. Never actually lost. The Shrieker has them. So any items that you lose in this game can be recovered by defeating the Shrieker. But there are 2 ways of defeating the Shrieker. One of those is actually like the mission you just saw, which is a rare one. This one pops up every once in a while. The stunned by the apparent value of the thing concealed amidst its putrid feathers, onlookers wonder if a trek to its perch might be in order, or might not be in order, right? So this specific mission, if you do it right now, would unlock this item called a molted tail feather. If you go do this mission, there's only one reward, this random Shrieker rarity item, right? It's its own tier of rarity. Is it good? Well, I mean, you have to read it. Right? Just because it's super rare doesn't mean it's good, right? Plus 4 speed. That's promising. Plus 33% disease resist if the torch is below a certain amount. Plus 33% stun resist if the torch is below 50%. Plus 15% stress. It's all right, I guess. I mean, it does things. I'm not impressed by this item by any stretch. But the first line saying plus 4 speed is solid, but I don't know. I'm not hugely impressed by this. I'm thinking of its like niche use cases, and in my mind the best use of this is against like the Swine Prince. If your goal is to kill like Wilbur fast, or I guess if your goal is not to kill Wilbur fast, but kill the Swine Prince like super quick, and then afterwards you're afraid of getting stunned, because the thing is, it's going to give you speed and make you kill fast. It's also going to decrease your disease resist on a location that's filled with disease, and it's going to help you with the stun resist, which Wilbur spams stun. There's not really many other places I can think of the map that this is super useful for. It's a weird item. It's okay. It's kind of neat. I mean, for a completionist, right, if your goal was to get every item in the game, obviously this is something you got to do when the opportunity knocks, because you can't find this item in any given week. The Shrieker's items are rare, and you can only find them on missions like this, where the Shrieker appears, and there's like a weekly mission that says something about it. However, when we normally go fight the Shrieker, not right now, but when we normally go fight the Shrieker, similar style mission, whatever, it levels based upon your team, right? If you go fight the Shrieker has essentially like 2 things going on. It's got a nest and it's got itself. And I don't want to over-explain this without going there, but I kind of have to, because I'm not about to go in there and jump and fight against it without already kind of like talking about it, because I want to make sure it's valuable to even go in there in the first place. In this case, it's not. It's not, and I already know that. It's not really worth going after the Shrieker here. The item I'm not impressed by, and we don't really have a lot of missing items in the first place, so I don't really care. But I want to explain when we do eventually go up against the Shrieker, if we do, fingers crossed, I hope I never lose enough items to care about that. But the way the Shrieker works is you go in and you fight him, and if you kill him, then you leave, and you'll get like an achievement, I think, for beating the Shrieker, but you'll also get like 8 random items, the highest rare items, randomly chosen. Let's say you've got 10 similarly rare items that you've lost over your travels, plus like 5 or 6 junk items. It's going to select 8 of the most rare of that group of 10, and then randomly give them back to you. And it's just basically a huge, recovery of a lot of your lost trinkets, because that's what he does. He finds shiny things and he steals them and takes them to his perch. But there's also a sneaky thing you can do I learned on accident. So if you destroy, instead of attacking the Shrieker, you can attack his nest. And if you kill the nest and ignore the Shrieker, you'll leave with a one of those trapezohedrons, just like another random shiny thing. Like it's like he stole it and thought it was like his egg in his nest. You'll leave with that instead. And you're thinking, well, okay, well, you're killing him instead of the Shrieker, but don't you have to kill the Shrieker? No. The Shrieker's super weird. The Shrieker will attack you with some of the most annoying abilities in the game. Enormous amounts of stress. Enormous amounts of stress. Enormous amounts of, like, disease. There's, like, a lot of, like, huge amounts of damage abilities and stuff. But you don't need to kill him to win. All you have to do is survive 5 rounds and he flies away. I figured that out on total accident. Totally on accident. So when you go against the Shrieker, in my experience, like my best thing, I mean, the first time I go against him, I would recommend any player, if they've never played against him before, to try to kill him. But once you beat him once, I'm usually like, oh, I'm not even going to try to fight him. I'm going to bring, a Vestal. I'm going to bring, multiple different characters who are going to heal and remove stress, and I'm just going to sit there and let him beat up on us and heal and remove stress and just ignore him. And then after 5 rounds, he's going to go. And then you're going to be able to get all your items as if you killed him. Which sounds like cheese, but once you've learned that, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to do that too. Because there's not really, as far as I can tell, any real upside of killing him in the first place. Other than the weekly mission like this that pops up. And I'm telling you right now, we are not doing this. This is a champion level mission, right? He's going to be as hard as the next tier of bosses that we haven't seen yet. Right? We haven't even finished this last Insulet Flesh mission. We're still on tier 1. I want to kill this guy off before I go do this. What's the downside? The downside is this mission does not appear all the time, so you kind of have to seize the opportunity when it appears. But the upside is I don't really care because this item is not impressive by any stretch. Would I like to get it at some point? Sure, if the goal is to be completionist. And I don't even know if I feel like doing that, because then I'm kind of locking myself into some kind of a social contract that I want to do that, but we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to ignore him for now. I just wanted to kind of explain how the Shrieker works in general. It's a very weird mission. It's like a immediate boss fight that you don't really have to fight the traditional way, but it's almost like, it kind of makes me think of, this is such a funny thing to say, but it really does. This character, the Shrieker, very much so, I think, is inspired by the Crow from Dark Souls 1. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up, or don't. That's fine, skip this part. But in Dark Souls 1, you start off on this island, right, where you have to fight this thing called the Abyssal Demon, and then you leave the ruins, and then you walk up a hill or down a hill, whatever, depending on which way you're going. If you're beating him, the Abyssal Demon, you walk up a hill to arrive at a crow's nest. The crow then picks you up and takes you off what's equivalently the tutorial island and takes you to the main game. The location on this physical screen, if you look at the map right now, where this nest is about where on the similar looking isthmus that, like, that kind of like upward kind of bowing shaped cliff is in that game. It's about the exact same spot that the crow's nest is in Dark Souls. And similar to in Dark Souls, it's such a weird thing in the first game, you would walk over and you would take a shiny trinket or shiny item, and you would talk with the crow there, and the crow would say something along the lines of, give me shiny, give me whatever, give me shiny. And he had this very distinct, very unique, and he's like, give me shiny, give me warm, and he says this weird line, whatever. He's a very strange character because it's like a classic old JRPG, like, nonsense, how would you have ever figured that out, kind of like cult, rumor that went around for a little bit. Obviously the internet has kind of made those things not as rare as they once were, but in order to interact with them, after you talk with them, what you do is you drop items. Like, you literally take from your inventory, drop items, and then you log out of the game to the main menu. And then log back in, and then the item that you drop there, if it's from a specific list of items, will be replaced with another item that's rare or more powerful. And it's the only way to get certain items in the game. It's just silly. Luckily, they're not very extremely important items, but they are interesting items and they can do things to change the game. But it just reminds me of this because it's the same kind of thing, right? Within that little nest, there's a crow, and like it's just a kind of a very similar thing to me. In this game, you can't tell me this game doesn't borrow some of that aesthetic. I mean, not to say that Dark Souls has a a checkmate or like a monopoly on this aesthetic. Like, as I said before, there's a lot of games that kind of use this, but it reminds me of that in many ways. This game has a lot of that feel to it. It very much so has like different locations, similar to Dark Souls, etc. They're both great games. So this game stands entirely on its own. It's a fantastic game, but it just feels like it was made in the same decade and probably had I don't know. I'd love to hear the designers of the game if they got any inspiration from that game, but I'd be surprised. All right, so let's look and see what we got going on here, item-wise, and see what we want to do here. I guess the first thing I want to do is remember to always remind yourself to remove your trinkets, because you don't want to have your trinkets lost by just random drinking benders, which we've seen. And then we'll go and see if there's any rare items. Dark Bracer. A great item. If you're playing torchless. And I say torchless, what I mean is like literally you're intentionally putting the torch out so that you can go into the mission dealing as much damage as possible. Torchless is like a whole different way of playing the game. If I had infinite time on this earth, I would probably play through the game one time that way. I think it'd be really cool. It's high risk, high reward. I mean, you're doing enormous amounts of damage and missing nonstop, and then hitting hard when you do hit. It's like everything is a highlight reel on that kind of thing. So it'd be interesting to try that at some point, but I don't know. We'll see if I ever do. But again, +8 crit if your torch is low, +5 dodge if the torch is low, -10 damage if the torch is above. So you're using the Dark Bracer, you are out here grinding low light levels. I'm interested in the item, but it's just probably not for our playthrough. All right, let's see. How close am I to... Okay, portraits. Yeah, we gathered some portraits for sure. Not quite there, but I do want to get to 50. And that's kind of I think that might be our goal for today, I'll be honest with you. Let's look and see what other people we have here. Slow reflexes is not incredible. Unholy Haters, okay, but this character bleeds, so Unholy's not the greatest. Gifted is funny. He does have the ability to heal himself, but that's not his primary focus. Beast Slayer's good. Scientific is not great, especially on a tank. We usually want him to get healed, and he's a bigger tank, so he would benefit from being hit by weird reconstruction. Not a big fan of that. Enlightened is totally fine. Robust is okay. I don't really care about diseases in this game. They don't really bother me. The only real upside to Robust, in my estimation, is the additional benefit that it provides against the Crimson Curse. But I don't really care about catching regular diseases in this game because they're just not that crazy. Clotter. This, I think, is an incredible ability. I think you could justify rolling this and locking it on every character in the game. Is it the best on backliners? No. Is it good? Yeah. This is best. Its best use is on the Flagellant. I feel like I bring him up a lot, but that's because he is such a weird character and has a totally different axis on which you should consider him. The reason Clotter would be good on him is because he bleeds himself to help teammates, right? So this gives an additional benefit on him. Also, again, just Clotter in general is certainly better than whatever the equivalent is. I always forget its name. But the Blight iteration of this, I still think it's very strange. The Blight version of this only gives 10% resist, and this one gives 15%. It's weird to me, especially considering that I don't know this, but I'm pretty sure bleed is more common in the game. So it just feels strange that Clotter that's weird to me. Off guard's bad, especially on this character. Well, I'd say especially on this character, especially on any character who wants to deal an enormous amount of damage right now, right? First round, immediately just kill somebody. So going last kind of sucks on this character. I'm not a big fan of that. Bloodthirsty is funny on this character. Tuckered Out, Skilled Gambler, Less Stress in the Ruins. I don't like any of these characters. We can safely skip these guys this week. We've got a full crew of guys, and all these guys are level 0. There's nothing impressive in that group. All right, we might have a quick week this week of estimating, what we need to be doing. We might be just jumping right back into another mission, which I'm all for. I love playing, so. Although we are getting close, very close to being able to go fight the Miller. And I need to start considering that as an option too, because the Miller, you know, you need your guys to be level 3 or 4, and we've got a lot of level 3s now. I'd like to have like level 2, or 2 level 4s, 2 level 3s to go, because the Miller's an interesting fight, and it can surprise you. Like, he's got some interesting abilities that can just wear you out when you're not expecting it. But I'm certainly not doing it on a week where the rare item is something like this. I don't care about that. We already got this item. I mean, it looks powerful, but it's a weird thing to stack. I feel like this item, you have to consider any defensive items a lot differently than offensive items. The reason is because an offensive item ends the fight faster. A defensive item prolongs the fight and gives you more opportunities to get hit, so it needs to be even better than the equivalent in offensive. Right? If I have an item that gives me 5, armor, whatever that is, 5 protection, and I have an item that gives me 5 extra damage, or whatever the equivalent would be, I would much rather have the extra damage because I can just end the fight now than give my opponent's 4 teammates the opportunity to attack again while I sit there and protect myself for 5 extra. It's like a totally different way of thinking about it once you realize that like defensive stuff can't be... You can only compare defensive items to defensive items, really, in my opinion. Alright, oh yeah, you got it, guys. Oh, I should probably get rid of her negative effects, right? She's got like the worries, like 2 or 3 other things. The worries, hysterical blindness, good grief. Actually, I might look and see... What doesn't one of these make it so that there's a higher... Wait, reduces disease treatment cost. We should do this now. Save us some money.
Curious methodologies and apparatus can calm even the most tormented soul.
I'm paying for that right now just to kind of take off some money. It's not an enormous amount that's going to save us, but I just try to do it when I can. Why can't I do anything here? What's going on here? Oh, I have to click it. What am I thinking? Yeah, so we certainly want to get rid of hysterical blindness. The lowered accuracy is insane. I think, am I crazy? I thought there was a... Maybe I've forgotten here. Increases the chance of curing extra diseases. I was pretty sure there was an effect in here. So there's a percentage chance that we get rid of hysterical blindness. It also cures the worries, which is kind of nice. Does anybody on our team actually have enough stress that we would want to give them some help? Yeah, everybody's sitting at 50. I don't really care about 50. As I said, 50 is like my cutoff, at which point I start to consider like letting a person just chill and just relax, and then they'll just deal with it themselves. I don't know if I really need to get any of these people actually in there. Although, what am I looking at? I got 3 people. How many people have the Crimson Curse? Any more than that? That's essentially a bottle a week of blood we're using up. Let's see how many bottles we have. 8? We're fine. That's fine. Alright, so I guess this week I need to, consider the most efficient item in terms of... Wow. Got a lot of great items here. The cudgel weight is okay if you're using, what's it called again? I said its name earlier. The previous episode here. Blackjack. I almost said ace in the hole. Blackjack, ace, kind of a similar thing. Blackjack's okay, but it's kind of like an off ability. Like, you're not really using this character often as a frontliner. It's kind of strange to have him be the stunner, and it's not even that great. Like, plus 25% stun skill chance is fine. Don't get me wrong. It's actually probably better than the old, where's it at here? The Paralyzer's Crest. Yeah, it's better than that item. But I don't know. It's not really that character's role most of the time. But you do what you've got to do. In the early game, for sure, you could definitely justify giving him Blackjack, which already has a 110% stun chance. He can easily fit in and be your stunner in the same way that you could early game have the Crusader be your stunner. And in fact, if you... The problem is, the item that we just discussed there, this item, it requires you to find it in the same way that the crest did, right? And we found the crest early. We didn't, like, in the first episodes, we found the crest and we found the elephant, dazzling charm. And you start the game with this character, which, literally, this character, Reynold. So, it's a lot higher of a chance that he'll become your stunner than it will, like, the Houndmaster, because you have to roll him and you have to find that item. There's multiple things that have to line up there. I'm not interested in that item right now. If I find it, I find it, but I don't really think I'll end up even using it at this stage in the game. We already have a blood... No, not this item. Bloody Dice is not bad. I was thinking this was the attack damage one, the one that increases your attack damage, I think. I might have sold it. No, this item right here. I was thinking it was the damage stone. Kind of has a similar look. Not a bad item. And as a jester-only item, guaranteeing that your jester applies bleed, not bad. But we aren't really interested in that anymore. We can find better items. What is this? Book of Constitution plus 30% blight resist plus 30% disease resist. Oh, we talked about this in a previous episode. There was like a guy on Twitch, his name was Josh, I think, that was like, I would prefer that item over, I think his name was Josh. He was saying, I'd prefer that item over whatever the other item was. And I think the item was at this location too, and we chose not to go for it because it was like a long mission or a medium one, and I didn't really see any need to do it. I also am not super excited about doing this mission, even though it says Silence in the Crypts, because I don't know if I do this mission if it immediately jumps to level 4 and then we have a boss there or not. I'm not sure if we're really ready to do that. I guess theoretically if we did it, we could bring 3 or 4 level 3s. We are kind of already set up to do a tier 3 boss if we wanted to. But I don't know if I necessarily need to do that. I might get a few people to level 4 before we start to think about that. What I'm probably going to do here is just do like this mission, and I'm going to explain why. So I don't want to do the Intuit flesh here because the Covenant Signet, we talked about that in the previous mission, not impressed by this item. I don't think it's bad, I just don't think it's good. And in most cases, that usually means it's bad in this game because it's the opportunity cost of another item you could have been running instead. In terms of the other items, I already told you, same exact argument, Virtue's Chance. Virtue Chance being plus 25%. Now, I am going to say that I did do a little digging. I wanted to know because I had said multiple times that I thought the Vestal had a higher percentage chance of triggering Virtue than any other class in the game. I made that claim. I said, I feel like I read that somewhere. I went and reread her article on the wiki. After years ago, I think I read it once. And I didn't see any sign of that, so I might have just made that up. Maybe I just remember having had some situation where the Vestal like triggered it more than other people and just felt like she was more virtuous because she's like a religious, nun type, whatever. I don't know. Might be a Mandela effect or some other kind of thing. I don't know. But what I can say though is one thing that I did learn on that quick journey down the wiki. So I was like, how often does somebody trigger Virtuous? I thought the base chance to trigger Virtue was 10%. It's 25%. 1 in 4. It's a lot more reasonable than I thought. So that makes an item like the Hero's Ring not as bad because it's a 50-50, right? You stack that with another item and it gets it to be a 65, 35 situation. Now it's not as bad. Is it good? I still think it's weird because what you're doing is you're essentially intentionally stretching your dude out and then flipping a coin and hoping that it goes your way. Is that good? It's better than no item, right? But I don't know. I'd have to play around with it. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm not excited enough to go after this item. If we get it, we get it. We could try it at some other point for fun. The survival guide, we've so funny. On no playthrough in my experience of playing this game ever before this, I played like 5-6 hours the first time I played it like 10 years ago, and then I played like 15 hours and got through all the main bosses. And then I also had a very early, like if you're a friend of mine on Steam, which I only have a few friends that watch this that are my friends on Steam, my account has it looks like it has like 200 hours. And that's because when I first turned this game on, I fell asleep the first time I had it, and then it just stayed on overnight. And then after that I realized it wasn't killing my computer, and so I played at night, and sometimes I just leave it on when I was a college student in between like classes or whatever. A lot of my hours aren't organic gameplay, which is funny. But anyway, that said, I had never on any previous gameplay ever seen the survival guide, so it's really funny we've seen it now. This is the third copy of this we found. I am going to go and do, before I get to talking too much more, the tough ring. I think this item is the real deal. I think this is an incredible item on the Man-at-Arms. Is it the best item you can get for him? Maybe. Maybe not. I honestly don't know, but I could definitely tell you that it is very easy defensively, like, the same tier in my mind as, like, Barristan's Head. Because if you read Barristan's Head, it's plus 25% protection and plus 20% stress added. This is plus 10% protection, not as strong, plus 15% max health that synergizes with protection, less damage that they deal, and you're like, well, that's weird. He takes less damage. No, he deals less damage. It turns them into a tank that deals less and takes less, and he makes them take more stress. Is it a great item? No. But is it good? Yeah, it keeps your tank around. It essentially it stabilizes the variance in the damage that character takes. Instead of taking high highs and dealing high highs and whatever, it kind of like lowers the max amount of damage that character will deal, but in turn also lowers the amount of damage he's going to take. And so it takes a take like a Man-at-Arms. That Man-at-Arms is going to be taken over and over and over again. So extra 10% protection, extra 15% max HP, all of that matters, right? Now he's going to deal less damage, but it doesn't matter if you constantly use something like riposte on him, guard somebody and riposte, because he's dealing his damage on defense while also protecting himself. I think the math, if you actually did the math on this, my guess is the tough ring would actually be pretty good on a Man-at-Arms. Elsewise, this might be a reasonable combo item if I was ever going to try out that weird version of the Crusader we talked about with Holy Orders, which I thought we got a Holy Orders, but maybe, oh, there it is. Yeah, Holy Orders. Yeah, this might be a weird combo to see. Like, extra virtue chance, like, takes less stress. This gives him more stress, but it offsets it. Death Blow resist, has higher protection and higher max HP. I don't know. Might be an interesting combination because it essentially turns your Crusader into, like, this character who is really hard to get stressed out and is really hard to take any damage and do any damage, but once he hits Virtue, he's an unkillable protector, right? Because once he gets above that threshold and he gets to stress, like, 100, and he triggers Virtue, let's say he triggers, I don't know, Vigorous or something like that, and suddenly every single round he's gaining 4 health, and the opponents just can't hit him. They just can't deal damage. He's got Protect, he's got a huge health battery, and then he's removing stress every round. It's like, I could see that being hilarious. He's just this perpetually positive, optimistic dude in a dark room, constantly shouting as like All Might from My Hero Academia, or like Superman, or like just some corny, super positive dude screaming positive things out in the dark. I could see that being an interesting build. I don't think the tough ring's bad. I really don't. When I played with the Man-at-Arms, I rolled with this item most of my playthrough. I think it's actually a pretty serviceable item. In terms of overall value, it's probably a flip of the coin, though, between that and the Hero's Ring. I don't think the Hero's Ring is good. I'm going to tell you this right now. If I were to make a tier list right now, and it was like S, A, B, C, D, F, I'd probably put this squarely in D. And the reason for that is because, again, I think Virtue is not something you can rely on. It's just not. And to build an entire build around it is gimmicky and goofy, and not a fan of the gimmicky goofy. So there might actually be an argument here that instead of doing one of these, maybe this is a proper time to go take my dudes. I've got 3 people that have the Crimson Curse, and we have a level 3 mission where we can go take people with the Crimson Curse. And something I want to say really quickly, you might remember that we talked about earlier, we saw the Fanatic spawn in a previous episode. Once the Fanatic spawns in the game, from then on, anytime you bring 2 or more people with you that have the Crimson Curse, the Fanatic can spawn at that location. Not in the Crimson Courtyard, though. So this is the perfect place to bring your Crimson Courtyard people so they can get in there and do some damage. The problem is this round, if I was going to do something like that, I wouldn't want to do it right now because 2 of those people are highly stressed. So in, I guess, anticipation of that thought, maybe I should, if I'm thinking I'm going to do that, go ahead and de-stress them. And this might be a good time to do that too, because 2 of our people are, they need to have that stress removed. So we'll take... Oh, that's unfortunate. Look at this guy. Can I buy that first tier? Oh, it costs portraits. I'll do it. That's fine.
All manner of diversion and dalliance await those who cross the threshold with coin in hand.
All right. All right. And then from here, I guess we could also throw her in there. Get her stressed down too. Sure. And then after that, we'll go ahead and just get into another mission here. Doesn't really matter what it is. We're not going to go there now, so I guess we are going to be probably going after the tough ring, which is fine, because then we can actually, we have a thing from the Stars mission. Maybe we'll run into that guy. If that's the case, I should probably think about who I would bring to deal with the thing from the Stars, because he's going to have more protection, more resistances, things of that nature. And this is a level 3 mission, so I got to take it seriously here. Huh. Do I have any... He can remove the resistance from him. He's really good at dealing with the thing from the Stars, so we should probably bring him. And then after him, everybody else can just do normal things and not really worry about things. I can just bring... Pretty much anybody, actually, after that. It doesn't really matter. Although I should probably start thinking about locking quirks and removing quirks from people while I'm doing this stuff. Just the time to kind of throw in a Furnival, or throw in a random character and start, you know, adding quirks or removing quirks. Maybe so. Let me pick my team, and then whoever's left, we will go ahead and lock a quirk. If I was going to go here and fight this mission in anticipation of fighting against the thing from the stars and also fighting against things that are normally at the wield, I want things that can deal with armor, if I can. But I don't know if I have very many people that can deal with that. I don't have her, because she's level 1. So I need to have some meaningful way of getting through that. So it's probably going to be bleed. I need to get through with bleed. So this will be fine. And after that, I need somebody that just deals raw damage, maybe either Palmera or Reynold. Reynold's fine, but again, Reynold's got all these locked bad things. He's got a lot of locked bad things here. And Reynold... Well, God-Fearing's not bad, and Warren's Foe is actually not that bad. Kleptomaniac's annoying, though. The Absolute yeah, he's got a lot of other bad things. The irony, though, is him rolling around with all these bad quirks is not so bad, because he can have them re-rolled on accident, because he's already got so many bad quirks it can't get much worse. I don't know. I do want to get rid of some of these things on him, though. Maybe he is the person to do that with. Go ahead and lock in something. Huh. I think here we get rid of Infirm if I was going to lock anything. He's a Warren's Adventurer that's irrelevant here. Furnival, it's got Backtrack. Photomania is good. I guess we'll just take Furnival. Furnival's fine. Furnival's at this stage, as sad as it's going to be to say this. Metal Before Madness. Dude, that's a cool team name. Metal Before Madness is that is a sweet name. Furnival is actually becoming a better investment than Reynold, which is sad to say, considering that Reynold is our original guy. Do I have any real healing? I do. Okay. I think I'll just make him my stunner. And then if we get mixed around, that'll help, then we can remove some stress. The rest of this is kind of irrelevant. He's not going to be doing almost anything else here. I guess I can level that. Very little cost. Level his item here, and I guess his armor too. Just get them all ready. Might as well. Get them all leveled up. Clean these guys up. I'm just pouring money to these guys just like it's nothing. Oh, I just leveled up somebody that didn't need to be leveled up. I guess that might be a good argument for bringing her instead then. Because she can actually bleed it. Actually, she probably is a better choice than Palmera, which is hilarious. She probably is. She's even a wheeled adventurer. Oh my god. Yeah, we just accidentally fell into that. One downside about her, though, is she is Ashen, which really sucks at this location. That sucks. But she does have some other good qualities about her. We'll take her. She also has Gifted, which is hilarious because she has her own heal. And we also have with us a Mr. Eldritch. But hold on. The reason I was thinking about bringing her was because I want the Thing from the Stars. Can he really deal with the Thing? I don't think either of them are better against the Thing from the Stars, if I'm being honest. The one thing he can do is he can, like, I say he, I mean the leper, is that he can do Intimidate, which is the ability bypass the stealth on the target, which is irrelevant, but minus 20% damage to the target, minus 3 speed to the target, and de-stealths that target, and then to himself marks himself and increases his own speed by 2. So he just decreases the enemy's damage from the rest of the fight by 20%. It's like solid. Very good against certain bosses. You can imagine that'd be good against somebody like the Prophet, or the Swine Prince, or whatever variant you're against, Swine King or whatever. But I think really though, she's pretty solid here. I mean, we've already got Bleed built in. Iron Swan can do some really good things against backliners. We don't really have a lot of backline damage in the squad, so I think she probably is a better choice. So I accidentally leveled her up, but it turned out to be good for us. Let's go ahead and switch her for... Oh, wait a second. I didn't have her with us in the first place at all. What am I saying? Oh, I see what happened. I thought Palmera was with us. It was actually Pisvini? It's him I need to level up. Whatever. It ain't that big a deal. Go ahead and level him up too. Give him some more resistances. A little bit of a waste of money in the short term, but that's okay. We don't have a bank that's going to end up costing us on that anyway, so it's not that big a deal on that front. All right. So from here, I've already leveled everybody's stuff. I want to make sure that I've selected their... I leveled their abilities now, right? Make sure his abilities are kind of leveled up. I'm going to do the Curse of Weakening, and the heal. Those are the two things we really need to make sure we level up on him. And to be completely honest, honestly, like, Sacrificial Stab probably isn't a bad idea too. The weird part about Sacrificial Stab in this mission is going to be that the 4 people that we're bringing with us, 3 of them like to be in the front, and he likes to, this guy, right? He likes to be in the back. He can be in the third slot and use something like, you know, the Sacrificial Stab, but, you know, actually, it's not even true. We can level this. Again, I was thinking that we had... Hey, Paige, I just need to look at the team when I'm talking. We can switch these guys' spots. Look at... What the heck? Metal Before Madness. You switch it around, they become the Covenant? That's weird. I wonder how many of these names exist in the game. It's really strange. So, they have the Covenant for this one. You switch these around, they're Metal Before Madness. It's the same team comp. That's very weird. But the reason I'm switching these guys is because then that'll make it so the Occultist can actually use Sacrificial Stab instead of Abyssal Artillery, or I guess Damon's Pull. I might keep Damon's Pull anyways. But this ability now will actually deal a lot of damage to the thing from the stars. That's not his primary goal, but in the first few hits, if he hits, he'll hit for a lot. And then he can switch over and start being our Weakening Curse guy that removes his armor once he gets to his second stage. But this ability, having him in the third slot, is pretty solid here. Although these abilities, do they work in the third slot? His slice-offs? Oh, they don't. So if I was going to do this, this essentially turns my... That's fine. I'm just essentially... Well, he's got Eldritch Slayer, though. This is peculiar. Well, one upside to this is if I give this guy 1 bleed ability, then they can both be the third slot guy in case they get switched in slots, and then they'll both be ready if it happens. That might be a good way of looking at it. Alright, let's go ahead and level some of those abilities, make sure they're ready to go as much as possible here. I'll go ahead and give him 1 slice-off ability. I'll level it all the way up. And then I'll increase his stress abilities and all these other things, or de-stress abilities, and then we'll give him Finale. And then, from there, make sure that we level up the bread and butter abilities on this character. We're not going to waste any slots on Caltrops or Mark or anything in this case, because for this entire mission, Bondeville is essentially just going to be just axing people in the face. The whole mission, that's all he's going to do. He's not going to really do anything else. He's just going to be a reliable... Once a round, punch in the face. That's what he's going to do. And Furtival's going to be doing a similar thing here, but he's going to be on stun duty. Yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and pick the items. Man, this is where we see that Ethereal Crucifix starting to look okay. But it's not the proper time to use this item. The best use of the Ethereal Crucifix, in my estimation, is when you're fighting things from the stars in the Cove. That's when I would bring this. But I wouldn't bring it otherwise. I also wouldn't bring Eldritch Slayer's Ring or anything like that against this. We're not really guaranteed to run into the thing from the stars. I'm not going to use all my items to prepare for that enemy when it's not even guaranteed. He's in slot 4. It might just be good to give him like a Sun Ring. Just give him both a Sun Ring and not really think too much about who does what here. I do want... Do I have Holy Lance? Yeah, I do. So our obvious flaw here is that the Bounty Hunter has no real way of getting up fast, but Furtival at least can get closer to the front. And we also have... I think Pisvini, I think the Occultist class can move back 2 slots. And for sure, I know 100% that the Jester can. The Jester can move back 3, I think. I think he can run to the back in one move. It's like the reverse of the Flagellant. Although he can do it even if he can't do it that way by just forcing it through use of Finale. He can always move his location when he needs to. Alright. Huh. I guess I'll think about the items I'm going to give real quick, and then we'll go. For sure, I'm going to give this guy stun-related things if I can, because he's going to be focusing on stun. But we aren't as worried about that as we used to be, because really now, I think I'd rather just have like resistance items and other things like that. I could give him the Holy Orders, just to meme, see what it does. It won't matter at all. 15 stress relief isn't, or 15 virtue chance is not going to matter. Extra speed, less accuracy. The Berserk Charm's not terrible. But the extra damage is pretty much irrelevant, because that's not what he's going to be doing. He's going to be focusing on stunning. But I don't want to waste a whole slot on just an extra 10% stun chance, which does beg the question, if I don't want to do it now, when will I ever do it? So I might be able to just sell this item, and I might do that. Let's just give him the surgical gloves because he might crit on his stun. Is that possible? Crit modifier plus 3%. Yeah, he might crit on his stun, which would be hilarious. But also, if he gets moved, it's not a big deal, right? Because he's got Holy Lance. Let's look at our Bondeville. He's going to be our primary damage dealer, so let's go ahead and give him damage items, like real damage items. I guess I'll give him Ancestor's Candle, and is his accuracy bad on this ability? No, it's pretty good, actually. Does anybody on the team have bad accuracy on any of their abilities? I feel like, in my experience, this guy misses his Dirk all the time. Sacrificial Stab. But he doesn't miss with Weakening Curse or any of these other abilities, so these have really high base accuracy, so one can make the argument if I just focus on what he's supposed to do, then he'd be fine. Okay. Okay. So I guess I'll go ahead and lock in the characters. Huh. Alright, I'm gonna sort these because I keep losing where my guys are. That's better. I'm looking at the leper, he's not on our team. I don't know what I'm doing there. Looking at the quick draw charm, which we just got, thinking about it, seeing if it has any utility here in this team. I don't think it does. Plus, minus 25% stress if the torch is up, plus 15% stress if the torch is low, and plus 20% stress skill. Yeah, so he could just remove our stress on. That's actually pretty good, because the thing from the start is spam stress abilities, and then Renee could basically just sit there and keep on playing the banjo to kind of make up for it. That's actually a solid and serviceable argument. These other two guys up front can deal all the steady, consistent damage, and the other two in the back could essentially like remove armor, deal damage, remove stress, heal. Yeah, we've got all of our bases covered except bleed. So we need to bring some things to take care of his Vinny's little bleed issue. And if that's the case, maybe I bring Junia's head, because we have a true stress reliever here. Plus 20% to stress skills. Yes, actually, that's probably a pretty reasonable argument here. He's not going to be dealing any damage, so let's just give him more, like the Solar Crown or something, and then he can just keep getting healed or whatever. Yeah. Seems kind of funny, but it'll work. I could also make the argument that I could give him the Camouflage Cloak. Just give him more dodge, because he's already got 25 dodge. That's good. We'll go with that. Yuzvini here, we will do something for you. Actually, I say he's got 25 dodge. This item doesn't even have the dodge caked in, right? He's got 25 dodge from base armor. From his base ability. He just has it. From the padded garb. He gets plus 15 more. Now he's going to have... Yeah, now he's going to have 40 base dodge. 40% base dodge. You know, obviously whatever the opponent's accuracy is gets factored in there, but he has a higher chance of dodging than we've seen in a while. On any character. That's good. This character's mostly going to be debuffing, so I don't know how much I really care about... Maybe I just give him the Cursed Incense. Make sure he never misses when he does debuff. Extra accuracy is also decent. It's fine. It's not exciting by any stretch, but it makes sure that your abilities hit when you want them to. And then here, probably just distance his head, and then just focus on removing his stress. He's going to be a lot more stressed out at everybody else on the team, but I can just hyper focus on banjo. I keep saying banjo. Using the loot on him. I can't help it. It is a loot, but the banjo is way funnier to say, so I'm just going to keep calling it banjo probably. I think this is a good setup here. And then we'll go ahead and get on out there. Make sure I have everybody's got their abilities locked the way they should before I do something stupid and take off. And oh, yep, I already did it. I was about to do something stupid. I don't think you're going to be stunning on us at all, so I'm not going to waste any time with that. Yeah, everything else you're not going to be using. You're just going to be constantly using Collect Bounty. We have nobody on our team that's stunning. Oh, what am I talking about? Yes, we do. So maybe I should actually select Uppercut. Not uppercut, but finish him. Plus 25% extra damage versus stunned. Pick that, level that up, and take it instead of Caltrop. Sounds great. That sounds like a good combination. Because the, yeah, instead of the Crusader being relied on for any form of damage, they can just 1-2 punch stun, and then immediately after that, Bondeville can uppercut him and just end their life instantly, which would be funny. He doesn't need to stun, but I'm not going to switch over to Caltrops because this is already one higher level. It's just a slightly better item or ability in general. Caltrops does almost no damage by itself. It's a status effector, and this character has 2 items on him right now that increases raw damage. I need him to be hitting and punching. And I think that takes care of it. We already looked in here, right, at people, and I said I didn't like those people. I already looked in here and saw there was a dark bracer, but... Oh, we're already out of money. We had, like, so much money, now we're just out. That's okay, though. I don't feel bad about it. We're spending money to make money, so it's fine. Here, we'll go on in here, and we'll take us a chance here. Oh, this is a long mission. Alright. I gotta think about this. In the past... Am I live even up? Oh, it is. Freaked me out for a second. I thought I lost my live for a second. I was like, dude, what am I doing? I just lost everything. This is now that we're starting to do like tier 2 missions, this is when I start to talk about how for the first tier missions, my goal was for this whole playthrough was never to use any kind of outside of the game resource. Now I'm actually pulling up Darkest Companion because I wanted to remind myself on medium missions like how things change in difficulty and like, you know, different levels and stuff. But if I remember right, I don't think the difficulty of the mission matters so much as it's like the length. Yeah, the length is the only thing that people usually change their provisions for, which is kind of weird. If you're on a long... Oh, no, that makes sense because your character's scale... The length is the only thing that really matters in terms of how many provisions you should bring, because, you know, the amount of food you want to eat has no effect on what level you are. The level just determines how strong the enemies you can fight are. So, the longer the mission, the more provisions. The harder the enemy, you don't need more provisions. You can make an argument about food or something, but not so much. It's not a direct correlation. All right, this is a long mission, so you bring 16 torches. I'm going to bring my shovels immediately because last time I forgot them. Then from here, the extra stuff, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say like this. Sure. I'll bring like that. This is a long mission. I might even bring 3 skeleton keys. And then I have nobody with, nobody has the Crimson Curse. And then I do have a dedicated healer. And I said I wanted to bring extra bandages because we got a bleeder. Watch out, folks, we got a bleeder. Is there anything else I need? Food. Long mission, we bring, generally speaking, we bring 8 for short, 16 for long. It's probably fine. We have a dedicated healer, so I don't bring a lot more extra. Yeah, I think this is fine. Sure, this is okay. Is there any reason to switch anybody around, anything like that? Did select finish him. I'm just being paranoid, making sure I don't... Yep, I think we're good. Alright. Long mission, here we go.
I knew all these paths once. Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions.
Relatively straightforward mission. And there's a pretty obvious path here. You could say up, and then left, and up 1 if we want to go in there for 90%, and then down, and then left. And yeah, it's not that bad, actually. Oh my. There's the giant. Or he's technically slavering ghoul, but he's a giant. Alright, so I'm just going to immediately hit... Well, I can't hit the bad guy, can I? He's a human. Does he take extra damage? Nope, because he's taking up 2 slots. Man. Do I stun the guy in the back? Do I even do that? We have a lot of ways of removing stress. What am I thinking about? We have the Jester. Everybody's got low stress. Just take him out immediately.
The blood quickens.
Sure, stress. I'm not so worried about stress, though. As I was saying, like here, I took 22 stress. The Banjo would get rid of it. The Banjo, Rend, that's a lot of damage. Ooh, nice dodge, though. That's not so terrifying whenever you just immediately dodge his first ability. 4 is bad. Alright, and then here I can stun him, and he has... Wow, okay, he has a pretty high stunners, 70%. So this is a 130% base plus 20%. So we're looking at 150 minus 70. Okay, 80% chance it'll stun him. I'll take those odds. Alright, here, maybe I just dirk this guy. Oh man, I would have killed him if I'd attacked him last round. Wow. Oh, I probably should have just went ahead and removed stress. We're not in any real danger here. I'm going to just finish him and just try to hit him. One of the sneaky things about finish him that's often not realized is that finish him can reach slot 3. So even though it's technically a weaker ability, and just as a melee ability, it allows a character who's a melee character to hit 3rd slot. Like this character can, with finish him, he can be in slot 3 and hit slot 3 with a melee ability, which is wild. Or do I just kill this guy?
A victory. Perhaps a turning point.
Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. It does deal extra damage against stunned people. That wasn't random. I chose to do that. That's why we brought it. I'm going to go ahead and start increasing the torch level and remove some stress from this guy because we're not in any real danger here. So my Plague Doctor I'll have to rename to Gandalf or something, okay? Is it because he doesn't let you pass missions?
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Alright, make sure I use the... They died in a mission fighting a wandering boss.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
I don't want to spoil the game for you here, but I'm going to tell you something because you don't realize how funny that joke is. There is an incredibly rare event that happens in the game. An incredibly rare event where one of your characters can come back from the dead. I hope you just heard me. Because if your Plague Doctor comes back and has a white mask, you know what that means. Oh, are you kidding me? He had a 90% chance to disarm that.
Watch your step.
But after we defeated the boss and abandoned the quest, and then the weak event happened, there was a hero... Wait. And then the weak event happened where the hero can be resurrected. Oh, okay. Yep. There's the Gandalf joke. You already know it.
A fortune waiting to be spent.
I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do there. I was out of space. Ugh, these guys at the beginning. I hate when these guys appear at the beginning of the mission. I hate it. Because it just feels like they immediately hit you with, you know, some amount of, like a crit. They hit 30 stress. They're about to take the, look at this. I hate the mosquitoes in this game. I really hate them because it's cheese. He has 95 stress. He had 0 at the start of the mission. And you'd be like, well, that's because he has, item-wise, he has Dismas's head and Ancestor's Candle. Yes, he does. 30% extra stress from things, but you know, there's no way I'm going to know I'm going to run into 2 dudes that can give stress immediately. And there's also no way to know that those 2 dudes are going to immediately focus that one guy. Do the mosquitoes have honing abilities? Do they know that I'm holding items that add stress? No, it's just ridiculous. Alright. Just kill that one in the back.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Remove that stress. I do not want to see him get stressed out for no reason here. Get him off stress. Sure. It's all on him, huh? We're just gonna stun him out.
Impressive.
Nice, that's a lot of damage for a stun. Oh, is it crit? Okay. YouTube really does have issues with creating quality sometimes. It just randomly just dips in quality for no reason. That you can see the power of like removing. Oh my gosh! Get out of here! Nice. I don't know.
Press this advantage.
I don't know where that came from, but I'll take it all day. Usually he does very little damage and is very unreliable, but this guy has infinite stun resist. I'm not even going to waste my time.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Man, everybody's crit. Sure.
Ringing ears. Blurred vision. The end approaches.
You just have to roll your eyes when that happens. Only guy left immediately crits for 7,000 damage. You got it. Start removing that stress. Just kill this guy.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Okay. This is an item I've considered going to do a mission for a few times in the past. Is it worth picking up here? Plus 20% max health flat. That's just all it does. Is it worth it? I honestly think it is. It's definitely worth more than an onyx because this item is going to be just flat worth more money. Even if we don't end up using it, at least we can sell it for more. Alright, leave that bleed. That's why we brought all those bandages, folks. Is it worth going up here? See what's out here. Nope. Hunger check, random hunger check. I'm going back. That's an egg sack out there for like the mosquitoes and stuff, and I don't know if you know this, but I'm not a huge fan of the mosquitoes. Actually already been looted. Sure, use a shovel, we don't really care.
Nature herself, a victim to the spreading corruption, malformed with misintent.
Been able to kind of stay on top of that stress, which is good. And this is not an enemy we're concerned with. These guys bleed, but I really don't care. We've got 3, bandages in our team, and we've got a dedicated healer, so we're fine. Yep. Yes, sir. Bleeder's dodging the bleed's nice. Let's just take out the one that hasn't attacked yet. Save us some damage downstream. Okay. You can see that dodge kicking in. Look how much dodge this guy's got. Right now the torch is above a certain amount. This dude is rolling around with 40 dodge. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Disgusting. Wow, that didn't kill him? It's actually quite surprising there. It's a random moth or something.
Mortality clarified in a single strike.
These random crits just to get them. They crit.
Eradicated.
They crit and we miss. Sure. Oh, I can't really complain too much there. That's twice in a row that the gestures dodge. That's pretty slick. Do I kill one? I think I probably should. I'm thinking more about inspiring healing. I'm gonna do it. I'm just thinking about keeping this guy just stressed down a little bit. We've got 2 guys that can remove stress, and I'm gonna look how low his stress is now. Feels so good to go. He was at 90 stress. He was at 90 stress, folks. He's at 36 now. That's awesome. All right. I'm actually just gonna heal. Man, look how we've got all our bases covered. We really do. Even though earlier it looked like we were about to have a guy go over the edge and have me go over the edge because of it. Like, look how fast we were able to recover from that. I might just be cheesy here and just remove stress and keep things low. No, I mean, I'm not in a hurry. Why not? We're no real threat right now. It's great. It's a lot of money. Oh my gosh.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
What am I supposed to do with that? That's so much money. I guess I use the food, I guess. Wait, what just happened? Wasn't that 1,750 plus an extra 500? Maybe I quick stacked and then the other and didn't realize that one of those stacks had gone away. It feels like I just lost a stack. Maybe I didn't. That's okay. Even more money, man. Sure. I think. Oh wow! Now the emeralds are coming. What do we do here? You're telling me I can't use this? Usually you can do that. Oh, now it's gonna let me do it. Or not. Sometimes it lets you use this while it's in your inventory. A lot of times it does. I can't believe it's not this time, just randomly. I probably need to keep the bandages because we have Mr. Turban here that's gonna end up bleeding people out. I do want the 750 gold, I do. Is it better than, dropping 3 medicinal herbs right now? I don't know. I honestly don't think it's worth that. 750 gold is 750 gold, but it's also the case that, like, right now, the thing I'm hurting for is going to be, like, the ability to have more food. Look at the map, like, how much of the map is left unexplored. I need this medicinal herbs to make up for the lack of food we might end up having, or, it's gonna represent spot food out of nowhere. It's gonna help us. It also has flexibility, right? It can remove status elements, all kinds of stuff. Ideally, I'm gonna find more money, right? Because I'm gonna have these 2 firewood spots are gonna go. We're good. We can just drop this money, I think. I don't want to. but I think I could. I'm letting go. Ugh, that feels bad. Oh, Tenacious Crone. We haven't seen her yet. I believe she applies status ailments to your team. She's more of like a weird status guy. Look at this. We've got a bone conscript. We've never seen one of these outside of the ruins before. That's kind of interesting. Huh. I guess I don't remember them being able to do that, but that's cool though. All right, what's his accuracy on this ability? 100? Could miss. Well, he's gonna kill this guy because he's an anti-unholy guy. Knew that would happen. I was like, he's gonna miss if I attack him. I knew it would happen. Those little dogs, their base dodge is so like it's literally, his dodge is 24. Just can't hit him.
Decimated.
Or you just insta-kill him with your knife, I guess. This guy's so unreliable. Sometimes he just carries you like that, other times he's like, what?
Obliterated.
Alright, cool. Feeling okay now. This Crone's the only person on their team, so it's going to be really awkward because we won't be able to do anything this whole round. Although, I do have defensive abilities. I can spend a round, like, removing stuff. I gotta wait for her. We don't have stealth removal. But it doesn't matter because we can still get value. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. I should be taking this. I should be using
Inspiration and improvement.
Clicked the wrong ability there. That's fine. Sure. Deaded sense. Oh, blight. Sure. Yep. Uh-huh. Alright, we're gonna heal this guy up now. Remove some stress. And now I can see him. I know, don't toy with this one. You can't say don't toy with this one when she literally just... I just went from 0 and bled myself to 34 heal and crit and remove stress. Like, that's wild. You can't say don't play with this one whenever I can't see her to hit her. That seems cheesy.
Destroyed.
Alright, okay. Now you're really
A
messing with it.
trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
What do I do here? It's not obvious to me that I don't just drop the life crystal or something. I don't know what I'm supposed to drop here. I mean, I could drop the deeds. I want deeds though. I don't want to get rid of these. I want to collect them where possible. I could drop the emeralds. The emeralds do represent a higher total amount of money though. Let's just get rid of the life crystal. This would have already been a stack of. Let's just do that. The life crystal is marginal. I don't really care that much about this item. Switch these guys back around. Do I have anything to get rid of this? I can get rid of the bleed. I can't really get rid of the blight though. Sure. More heirlooms. Okay, well, now I don't feel so bad about keeping the portraits. I've got a stack. I've got a stack of them now. Basically regrew an arm. Oh, look, they've also got this guy, the Chevalier in the back, too, dude. Yeah, the infestation's really high. I need to go to that mission. You know, I don't often see this thing happen. So this guy in the back, the Chevalier, this is the first time we've seen one of them. They are from the Crimson Courtyard alongside the other guys, but the reason that they're spawning now is because we're on a veteran level mission, like a medium tier mission. So these are harder bosses or harder enemies that you'll run into than like the mosquito guys. I don't know what to do here. Just attack one. They're gonna use the thirst anyways. You gotta get a critical amount of hits. They add up. Sure. And I think I'll stun here. Yep. Okay. Okay, well, we got our 4 guys now that have the Crimson Curse for the mission that's coming up. I'm just gonna take one of these out as fast as I can. I might just stun him. Sure. It's not a lot of damage, but it does stun him, and that's what I care about, because these little mosquitoes are, like, they're my nemesis. They're the enemy I hate more than any other enemy in the game. I hate them. They attack super fast. They apply one of the more annoying effects in the game, which is stress. Just get them out of here. We did just dodge a really strong ability, though. I was casually complaining about, like, the stress of those little, like, you know, mosquitoes, and that Chevalier missed us with a huge damage ability. Do I remove stress here? I don't even know. I don't know if it's marginal at this stage. is already very low. Stress isn't even an issue right now. I'll probably try to stun this guy, because he has really like low stun resist by comparison, and he does a lot of damage, so it's worth it. You've already gave us 1 Crimson Curse. You gonna get 2? Okay, cool. All right, take out the bad guy. He's the high damage guy. Sure. Just remove your armor entirely. You'll get hit for full damage if I attack you now here. This is what I was talking about earlier, where I got these 2 guys in the back doing healing and like stress relief while the other guys just kill. Wow, that's like no damage. Sure, it's a lot of damage. Dodged again! We've been very fortunate here. Oh, that has a lot more implications than you think, too, because it means that I don't get the Crimson Curse, too. That's awesome.
Soothed. Sedated.
They've already got enough, I think, stats. Let's just be greedy and remove stress. Everybody's back to the beginning now. All right, let's end these guys real quick. Get rid of this one. Let's see if you can't kill him. Does he have stun? He still has really high stun resist, so that's not going to work. Let's just hit him for hard damage. Okay, killed him. We're all damaged there. There's our deeds.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
I might sleep. Do I have anything that I can do that would be valuable here if I slept? Extra crit. Monsters being surprised. We can... Dark Pact, but we don't have the ability to avoid nighttime ambush. Actually, don't know if I care. Let's go to sleep anyway.
Gathered close in tenuous firelight and uneasy companionship.
I don't need to heal. Just use 2. I'm just doing this to get an item out of my inventory and get some value out of it. I think I'll just give people accuracy and just hit hard. Sure, give himself extra accuracy, higher chance to surprise enemies for a while, sure. Remove stress from himself, you don't need to do that. Stress, one character deals extra damage for the next few rounds, sure. Next 4 battles, sure. And then have somebody else remove his stress if we can. Oh, oh yeah, Zealous Vigil removes, that's right, self only. So this, yeah, we could do this. And then, does anybody else have the ability to remove stress from that dude? Not quite. He doesn't have that much stress anyways, though. We don't really care that much. I can just remove his blight stacks if I wanted to. That's pretty greedy. Like, super unnecessary amount of... Maybe I just do something like this. Decrease the amount of stress he can take. What's the deal with the pineapple ray? Okay. Now we're going to test the theory I had, which is that the Zealous Vigil, or whatever it's called, whenever he sleeps.
In radiance, may we find victory.
I guess it's not exactly foolproof, but what I was suggesting here is Zealous Vigil here. Self-only minus 25 stress. We know that line, what it does is very simple. If afflicted, minus 15 stress. We understand what that line does. It's very simple. But the question is whether or not the bottom line requires him to be afflicted as well, or if it's a separate line. I looked it up before. Online, it said it doesn't. I mean, I just now tested it once, but there's no guarantee that's like a... Could still trigger. I don't know, but it didn't trigger, which is good. Oh man, you're out of space, folks. I guess now the question is, value-wise, is it better just to drop the bust in here and drop the crest in here, drop the rest of this, and just roll with what I have and just take what I get and go? And I think the answer, honestly, is yes. We're going to find so much more other stuff, even without opening a chest for the rest of this. The downside risk is if I find a treasure room, then I don't get anything because I don't have a key. And that sucks. Maybe it's better to just get rid of the bandages. That feels so wrong. I'm gonna do it though. I'd rather have the key in case we could use it if we find a rare room, because if I could find 3 trapezahedrons, that's an easy switch for a few of the other random items in my inventory. Dude, come on! Is this the 3rd group of these idiots I've found? I mean, we're infested right now, so we are supposed to find more of these guys right now, but this is still a lot of these. Alright, I should be able to kill 2 if I don't miss. Cool. And then I'll try to kill if I can. Oh, never mind, because I can't reach because he's in the back. It sucks. Let's just do raw damage.
A singular strike.
Okay. Never didn't have it. Sure. Nice. Let's see if he gets it. Oh, right. No, what am I talking about? That guy's already got the Crimson Curse. Ha! Ha! Get out of here. Oh, he's at 5 health. That sucks. Don't let him attack. Get him out of here. Okay. Well, that's really good. That brings this guy forward so we can hit him. 9 stress, 11 stress. I don't really think there's an obvious pick here. Just remove some stress from one of them. See if he can take him out. You shouldn't be able to unless you get lucky crit again. My god. Yeah. Last time was a fluke. Good fluke, but we were living on borrowed time for that anyway. That's alright though. I guess I'll finish the stress relief from him. And we'll just
A brilliant confluence of skill and
take
purpose.
this dude. Should I heal? Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah, whatever.
The ground quakes.
Oh wow, lock of patience and a
This
ruby?
expedition at least promises success.
See, these are the kind of things that annoy you because it's like, I find a ruby, it's like, what do I do here? Right now, this is worth less than 2 emeralds, but this has a higher stacking capability than 2 emeralds, and we are in the middle of the mission. So this is like the worst case scenario for finding a ruby. Because at this stage, now you're like, okay, if I take this ruby and I replace it with the emerald, I'm likely to find 1 more emerald. I'm going to tell you right now, I'll probably find at least 1 more emerald before the mission's over. Will I find 2 rubies? Maybe. Probably not, though. Those are a lot harder to find. My honest thinking here, I've already got a lock of patience, and I don't like this item. 10% virtue chance. This is just junk. I don't care about that item. Onyx is fine, but we don't have any, so there's no reason. This is not an item I'm considering right now. I'm just thinking about whether or not I would drop 3 torches. 4 torches?
The
2 torches
the
for a ruby.
promise of
Yeah.
safety.
Why not? We've already got a guy. This guy can increase our torch, our Crusader, and we're already a long way through the mission already. I'm not really worried about that. I can just have him use the stress thing that... I can just have him use it more than normal. Interesting. No more money, though. I'm not taking journal pages. We can't do that. We just don't have the space anymore. Anti-venom is funny. I don't have space for that. I could intentionally let the torch burn out here. Ooh, there's the giant. We haven't seen a giant yet in person, so this is cool to see it. All right, we certainly want to get a battle ballad going here because these guys are... We need to kill this guy quick.
A time to perform beyond one's limits.
Oh no, he's been marked. Yep. Okay, so he's human? Oh. Take him out then. What's his... He has a little dodge, but not a lot. Interesting. I guess we just try to take him out quick. I don't know. I want to kill the dog. I don't care about the girl in the back as much, but I want to kill the dog. Can he be stunned? 70% stun. Resist. We just took those odds before.
Well struck.
Cool. All right. And let's go for it again. Another play, another jaunty tune. All right, and we'll hit him again. Take that guy out. 18 again. Solid damage. We take it. We take it. Is this the one that lowers the light in the room? All right. I think I'm gonna go for just a big hit on him, and then try to finish this dog. Great. That worked out well. Okay. Cool. 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 This is gonna hurt if... Oh, never mind.
Exposed to a killing blow.
See, this looks terrible, but it's actually not that big of a deal because we have the only guy that actually sucks with, you would think, is this guy, but our team is built around this, right? This guy has the ability to attack. He can mark, he can also attack from 3rd slot with finish him and still hit, and he doesn't care. And we also have the ability to, if we want to, finale out, which we can just end this guy right now.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
So that guy just switched our whole team around and caused himself to die because we had been spamming, you know, we have never actually used Finale for a finisher yet. We've only used it to reposition ourselves in this playthrough. But this character has, on Finale, every one of his abilities gives a buff to Finale. And then once Finale is used, then Finale will deal extra damage or extra effects based upon the other things that have happened. And we had played, I think, the Inspiring Tune and multiple copies of the Battle Ballad, so it was stacking 30% extra damage, 30% extra damage, 30% extra damage, and then plus 8% crit, plus 8% crit, plus 8% crit. And it just crit there and hit 36 damage, which actually was one more than his max health, so I looked like I knew exactly what I was talking about. We got very lucky that it also happened to crit, but it does do a lot. But it worked out even better there than anticipated. I'm gonna be honest with you. 15 heals good. And then we can just immediately jump. Oh, I forgot. We can't use Holy Lance because it needs to be a person that's in slot 3. That's why. That rarely happens. So not perfect. But I was thinking Holy Lance was just gonna kill this guy too, so it didn't work out that way. But that's okay. That's a lot of damage. I mean, that's a lot of damage and a lot of stress too. Wow. Good for you. Heal yourself. Sure. No bleed's good. Alright, didn't even matter, huh? Die. See you, human. Use the torch.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
So now, from this point, we still leave the money because I don't really think that the upside of dropping the skeleton key matters that much right now. Because we've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rooms to go through, a whole mission's worth of rooms. It doesn't, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna find enough things to like justify it.
A handsome
More
reward
deeds.
for a task
Interesting.
well performed.
If I take the deeds, then I really am hoping that I find 2 more or 3 more before I leave. And then at that point, the question is, would I rather have deeds than money? And I think this is a higher upside than the ruby. Even though the emerald is like, you're like, what the heck? A ruby has a higher upside than an emerald because you can find 2 rubies, or if you find 3 rubies, obviously, in that case, it's a better item, but you don't know you're going to find that. What's more than likely the case is that the gold is like, you know, the consistent thing that you find. You take this home, it's consistent, it's reliable, it's boring. But the thing is, the firewood, I don't really have a use for it yet, and I don't have any guarantee I can use this ruby yet. There's no guarantee that it's not going to get tossed for more gold later, too. I don't know. And I don't really need to sleep right now. There's no upside to sleeping. Like, my guys are all doing pretty well. I want to use that for later. I'm going to leave it. I don't really care about that ruby that much. Let's go walk around down here. Hunger check? Well, that's annoying. We are pretty low on food. And we're running out, and we don't have the old, shoot. I might actually have to just go down and then left and make it back up around so I can hit as many rooms as possible. Because if I go straight down the left and then up, I'll get my room number, I think. Maybe not actually, because I skipped this room back here at the very top right-hand corner of the screen. Wow. I'm gonna go left and up. Do I have the shovels for this? I do. I hope we do. We've got a lot of space issues here. Sure, I'll look at it. Sometimes a tree is just a tree. I'm fine with that outcome. This is fine. Not exciting, but fine. Still nothing special here. There's our food. Oh, wow. Yes! Great for us. Alright. Free torch is nice. Especially considering how far we're walking up here. That actually was nice, the 2 things we just found in this hallway. We're on, we like that a lot. It's not exciting, but it's gonna make it so that one of these halls, like going down this 2 hallway stretch and walking back it the whole way, doesn't feel as bad. Never didn't have it. Never punished. Finishing the deed stack feels real good here. Oh wow, only 2 enemies? This is working out real nice. So I'll take some time to go ahead and de-stress because we're not in any real danger with these 2 guys. These guys are just big dumb tanks. They can deal a lot of damage if they have marks on you, but by themselves, they don't really represent a threat unless you're really in a bad spot already. Do I just try to finish him? I think I might. Where do I heal?
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Finish this one off, I guess. Oh yeah, 50 protect was doing some work there. 50 protect. Wow. See, 3 damage, you know, they don't do any damage, they're just super tanky. Alright, take out, I guess, the back one, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm not really thinking about this. The reason he's hitting for 12 is because he's got Ancestor's Candle and Dismiss's Head, so he's rolling with an extra 40% base. And I just assumed that, you know, Carnival was going to hit, the Crusader was going to hit for the same amount, but of course he wouldn't, because he's not running with those, he's running with, like, stun items. I should have thought about that. That's okay. Should remove stress where possible, when possible. Maybe we'll take out one of these guys here. 5 health, can I kill you? It's so wild that I don't even know if I can. Maybe I put this on you. Remove some of that protection. Guarantee the next guy that hits you will finish you. I can see that. Yep. Everybody's getting poisoned. It's annoying. Alright, just, I guess, finish him.
A devastating blow.
Yep, worked out well. Annoying. And that's actual damage. 5 damage from that tank. That's like the upper side of what he can deal. I'm just gonna mark, and I'm gonna be greedy here and try to get a sneaky heal in off of the what's the stress out here? I'm gonna try to get a heal in from my occultist, and then afterwards take him out with my knight. Or I will just do that. Sure. Yep, and then he'll hit, and then they'll say, "Oh
Such
my,
a terrible
okay."
assault cannot be left unanswered.
Critting for 10, sure. Even a blind squirrel finds a net, I guess. Get out of here, monkey.
Remind
deeds.
yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Do I take the deeds over the busts? It's a equivalent exchange here. The question is, do I want one more than the other? And the answer is, I honestly don't know. I think yes, because I want to get to 50 deeds before I do anything else, so I think I will do this trade. I've also used a lot of the busts that I needed, right? Because I upgraded a lot of the things in the Asylum already. So the busts are less important. I think the busts also upgrade the things in the Tavern, but I haven't really had a lot of need for that right now, so I'm not too worried about that. The real question is, do I drop the Emerald for gold? And I think the answer is yeah. Which feels weird, but... Dude. These bleedy dudes need to go away. Alright. I'm about tired of these guys. Get out of here. Leave. Got one. It's good. See if I can't kill the other one real quick. I'm gonna try to stun him instead.
A powerful
A lot of damage.
blow.
Now, if I can get through this one round without getting absolutely obliterated by old Chevalier in the back, by hitting for a metric ton, because he can't hit for a lot. God, that guy has by himself infected 3 people this round. This is what I was afraid of. I knew that would happen to him. I said it. I was like, this is the one guy I'm afraid of, because he can hit for a lot in that front liner. It's like I know what's going to happen before it happens. My God.
The wounds of war can
3 of
be
our guys have the
healed.
Crimson Curse because of just
never
this
hidden.
guy. Sure. Sure, one down. Go to the next one here real quick. I'm gonna stun the bad guy. He represents the highest amount of raw damage, as we just saw. And then I'm gonna use the old occultist. I wish I had 2 turns of the occultist. I'd like to get the occultist to remove the armor and dodge from, or I guess the armor from the supplicant, but also I'd like to use the occultist to heal up our crusader here. Man, this is one of the situations where I wish he was in the back and they switched. Maybe what I need to do is take a second after this fight and switch these 2 guys in the back. That way for the next few rounds I can just have the occultist heal multiple times and then have the jester use his slice off and be another damage dealer. Just kind of like flex my team a little bit here. I think I'm gonna do that after this fight. Let's just take or eat our vegetables, make sure we can take out this guy, and then accept that whatever damage we take from this guy is going to be a lot. Just hit him for a hard amount of damage, because he's going to hit us for whatever he feels like hitting us for. So, honestly, all things considered, that's not that bad. I mean, the dodge is, wow, minus 40 dodge. Wow. Okay. Zero heal is funny.
Precision and
Okay.
power.
So I will probably walk. Well, this changes things.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Wow, I just had literally the space for it. Sleeping here. We have enough for one random hunger check. I don't want to be snuck up on. Let's make sure we can't be surprised for a while. We already have infinite stress relief. I'm not really worried about that. Let's make sure this guy doesn't ever miss. And let's... I don't even know. Do we have... I guess we could heal. Somebody could heal somebody. Sure. We'll take that. It's not exciting by any stretch, but it's useful. Yep. I'm using the rest here. I'm not going to use this ability here. Minus 25 stress. Giving everybody else stress if there's nothing here. Alright, let's go to sleep. Wake up, let's go.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
And like I said, I am going to switch the Jester around with the Occultist and let the Occultist kind of take a break and just be our healer for a bit, because 3 of our guys are lower than normal. They're all in, like, you know, 2/3 health. And the Jester's going to have to focus. We have no stress issues right now. Like, our guys are almost perfectly. Drop a stack of gold, he said. Yeah, I could. I'm probably a little delayed on what you were talking about, but I could. But I'm realistically, like, gold is the only reliable thing I'm going to be pulling from this mission. Anything else I pull is essentially speculative. I mean, there's a very real chance I'll find another ruby. I mean, you can't, you know, assume that kind of stuff won't happen. It's very, very likely that kind of stuff will, but this guy has necromania. There's always one guy in your team, it seems like, that has necromania. Like, what do you do? It's like they've always got, one of the guys is always wanting to mess with corpses. A random hunger check. I knew that was going to happen sometime soon. That's actually good and bad, right? It gives us an extra slot to play with, but it does mean that we don't have a lot of time left. We got to finish this up. I'm thinking, do I go right and then down and then left, or do I go down and then right and then right? I guess it's the same amount of rooms that I would enter if I went that way. There's not much of a difference here. Yeah, there's not a difference. Okay. Has he got any kind of dodge? He does have dodge. He has protection. Why does this outlaw cutthroat have protection? Get out of here. I'm just gonna try to kill him quick then. Okay, blanket fire's awful. I hate that ability. It lowers your dodge. Alright, just finish this guy in the back. Oh, I can't reach him. Oh, I don't have to worry about it, though, because the Jester can reach him. Let's let the guy that deals damage to humans deal damage to humans and do his thing. Yep. Alright. Wow, did you just miss your bleed? Come on, man. What I rely on you for. Get your stun in. You resisted the stun. Worst case scenario across the...
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
Okay, game. Give it to him. Literally 3 dudes. Look at this. Come on, please. Please. This is ridiculous. Uh-huh. Give me a stun. Good. I gotta deal with this guy in the back, but... Alright.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit.
Now I can actually
Unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
greedy heal. That kind of makes things look a lot better than they could have. Let's stun him. I'm gonna give a second for the bodies to desettle here. See, that's. I gotta be honest with you. I forgot that ability moved a person. Now it does shuffle people, but it does shuffle people. I got lucky that it shuffled them clear to the front, but I forgot it did it at all. So that's awesome. I'm gonna actually be super greedy here, take a second to just heal. We're not in really any real hurry anymore. That was really scary for a second because we got hit by multiple bad things. Like 3 bleeds got hit on people. We just got really roughed up real fast. Just kill him. We're gonna take a little bit of bleed in the chin. Oh, nice, some food.
Ghoulish horrors.
It's gonna eat it.
Brought low and driven into the mud.
So now we look dumb because the bust that we found would have stacked the other one up, but you can't know that. I could take the... Oh, wait, I have space for the money. I could take the busts, or I could take the journal page. I don't think it really matters. They're both about equivalent, right? If I take this journal page, I'll never have to see it again. I might just do that. All right, get this bleed stack off me. Hurry up. All right, they're gone. Sometimes a tree is just a tree. At this stage, I'm fine with it. We need to heal, and we need it bad. Okay, this is a good mission for that. Just got to make sure to take care of Mr. Tanky here in the center. Remove his armor and resistance and protections, and just waylay on him here. Yep. Get rid of Mr. Tanky. So I'm gonna make sure if he doesn't die, he is mostly dead. And that looks really weird. You're like, why did you put all that damage on that one guy? Like, he's still not dead. There's still 4 guys up. All 4 of your guys attacked. You didn't take anybody out. Yeah, but he is the only person on their comp that deals damage. Just the Rapid Nasher can deal damage over time, but he's the real problem. And he's just gonna die next round from natural causes here. Well, not actually, not fully, but mostly. I'm gonna heal somebody that's not this guy because he's bleeding for the next few rounds. Ooh, that's really nice. All the pressure's off of everybody except for on this one. Oh, that's really good for us. That's great. That worked out real nice. Even though the bleed went back on him, I don't even really care. Let's finish him off, though. And now we can focus on the Nasher and then the other 2 guys or whatever. Don't dodge. Nice. Yep. And that dodge was very good there because that makes sure he doesn't hit the Death's Door negative. That's really a lot of damage for that ability. So he's going to hit Death's Door here. Oh, not if I do this, though. Not if I heal it.
Compassion
go to
is
1.
a rarity in the fevered pitch of
But not
battle.
get... Yep, didn't get hit by the Death's Door thing. That's all that matters. All right. Heal that dude up. Hey. And he got stacked by bleed. Of course he did. That's so dumb. Well. Uh-huh. Yep. Get out of here. Oh, wow. Oh. Never punished. That's funny. Get out of my face, boy. Awesome. Oh, the money's great. Oh.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
So there's a question here. Do we think that we're going to even need... Oh, wow, and a scout's really good here. Huh. This is interesting. I'm thinking about just running straight to the right and just ending this mission now. But if I go left, I get 1 free room. Oh shoot, I need to make a choice what I'm going to take. I guess I'll take this over though. And we want to make sure that we don't get hit by this trap. Who's the highest percentage chance of success here? It's him. It'd be bad if he misses it. He got it, good. Get this bleed off of us. What's he at? He's going to bleed for 1 more round. Man. Oh, you can't open that. If you open it, it's poison. Yep. Alright, craving? Oh, right, because he's got the blood. Alright. Their bottom 3 rooms finish the mission. I could, but the reason I'm doing it the way I'm doing it is because I have torches to burn, and this guarantees us one more extra free room in the can, or in the bag, so I don't have to worry if I don't want to go deeper. Because that room was guaranteed to have nobody in it. I saw it, you know, spoiled on the map. But a map inside, huh? Okay, you can chill. What else do we find here? Okay, so I just gotta get to this one room and I'm done. Sure, that's no problem. And now I can actually get rid of the shovels too, right? Oh, no, there's another shovel in the next room. My God. Let's use these torches now. This is the last fight. Oh.
A blazing star is born.
All right, and they're surprised too, so that's really good.
Another one falls.
If I die because my jester decided to be a clown in the final hour, I'm gonna lose my mind. So the question is, do I just try to kill one? I don't think I do. The clown giveth and the clown taketh away. What the heck, man? All right, just stun one, I guess. What? Healing for 38. It was like, oh, we're probably gonna lose. Nope. Okay, relax, dude. No, attacking that guy is the best case scenario for me. So I love seeing him stunned is not what I like, but sure. All right, heal him. 13 is still really good. We're fine with that. We are out of the woods now. No true danger left. I think here. I think we're good. And you're still attacking the guy who I don't care about because he's got full health. It's great. Well, they're gonna stack 15 blights on him. That might not be true in a few seconds here, but just take one out and then be greedy and spin around healing and removing stress because we can play with him for a bit. Yeah, if he goes first, that's even better. This is full information. And he missed. Yeah, we're good. I'm gonna mark him, and then we're just gonna heal. Remove stress and heal. Sure. Looks good. Remove stress here. What's his stress at? 5 and 17. We'll go home with de-stress guys, full bags, no real threats. This is gonna look real good here. And I guess we'll do the same thing again. I am being greedy here. I need to kill this guy before my guys complain. Don't play with this one. Okay. I know. All right.
To the pit.
Wow. Do we have a treasure room anywhere coming up? We don't. I don't even know if it's really worth keeping. We already fully scouted. We've already fully scouted. I'm getting rid of this key. We're not keeping the keys. I guess I'll keep the rest of this, and I'll take these busts over the last remaining torch here. And then the money, of course, can be slotted. This, I think, if you have the holy water, is a good thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing if you don't. Okay, it's purely decorative. I think I'm actually going to go up and intentionally fight here. We're so healthy now. I'm going to go,
No force of will can overcome a failing body.
Jeez. That's the second time in 2 missions where the game's just like, hey, it'd be really funny right here. Look at, oh my God. Shut up, game. That works with a, get out of my face. It's just bad roll after bad roll. If anybody's watching this and sees this and doesn't think that that's like a moment, you have a higher tolerance for nonsense than I do. All right, is there anything else in the map that's worth going after? I think, and if you don't understand what I mean by nonsense, we walked out of the room and I was like, we can go fight these guys. I decreased my stress, health, everything, we were all good. Immediately get hunger checked. Our front guy takes 9 damage. I'm like, God, oh, okay. Like, sure. And then right after that, walk back in the room, walk back out, find out I was 1 foot away from needing to use that chest key. Just 1 foot. If I just walked out the door. Okay. I think really here, in terms of pure value, I don't really think I need to go further. I think we're already pretty well maxed out. We've gotten pretty much the most we can get on the mission, right? The one question is whether or not I'd rather just go ahead and slot a journal page one time and say the heck with it, and I think I will. And let's go home. Oh, shut up. We're done. Gonna complain at the last minute here. Abandoned quest. Wait a second. Have we not finished this quest? Whatever. Let's dig.
Without tools of iron, you must rely on flesh and indefatigable purpose.
This game, man. I thought we were already done with the mission, but we weren't. We will be once we go in here, but man, the game is just trying to intentionally let us through the ringer here. Oh, a torch, huh? It's funny. And some money. Huh. That might be worth taking over the... That's funny. Another...
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy
What a weird way to
alike.
end this mission. This is the name of the mission, though. Let's go home. After that random hunger check.
Paths and roads bring soldiers and supplies. Let them arrive unharried.
Yeah, reading your comment here. If I had cheese, that wouldn't have happened. That is exactly right. If I had cheese, that would not have happened. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I just realized somebody chatted in, I'm so bad at recognizing that sometimes in Twitch here. Looks like, is it Tima's Agency? You just dropped in and like your stream. Okay, if you ever want to talk more about streaming growth or just connect with other creators, feel free to add you. And yeah, sure. I appreciate it. Yeah. But this is a wild amount. Does that actually get us to the amount we need in order to upgrade? That might be all we needed. Man, that was a lot. We got 2 people to level 4 too. Minus 20% healing skills when camping. I actually don't really care that much about this because bulimic obviously is, it's a pain. I mean, it can surprise you when you're not expecting it and kind of catch you off guard. But in a lot of cases, like, especially on short missions, like, this is literally irrelevant. You can kind of ignore it for quite a while. We have 3 people now that need...
In truth, I cannot tell how much time has passed since I sent that letter.
Huh. So now I guess the question is, do we go to the Crimson Courtyard? And the answer is probably. We probably need to very soon because we've got now 5 people, I think, that have the Crimson Curse. Let me check and make sure that's right. Yeah. 6. Oh yeah, we have to go soon. The reason being is because now we're on a rate of, I think it's every week, on average, I think we're going to be using 2 vials, which is much faster than I really want to be seeing. Eventually, you get to a point where that doesn't matter. There are ways of, like, fighting that. One of those ways, it's pretty straightforward, is if you go to the blueprints, there's some kind of a blood, like a wine reserve or something like that. Because the whole thing in this game is the Crimson Curse, like, it's a bunch of aristocratic, people that are drinking wine, but it's actually mixed with blood. I don't know who wrote that, like, trope, but it feels like it's in all kinds of, like, vampire TV shows, vampire movies, books, all kinds of things. Anything to do with, like, blood. It's like the wine and blood. It's like this aristocratic, I don't know, it's weird. But anyways, 2 bottles of the blood brewed per week. This is actually not that bad later on because it essentially trivializes, like, the need to find blood. It really does. Honestly, 2 bottles is actually extremely liberal. I guess I say it's extremely liberal. It's extremely liberal if you have a bunch of people who are, like, idle that have the Crimson Curse. If they're with you, it's not insane because, they usually consume at least 1 per mission, but if they're back home, they don't. So I guess it's not as liberal as I initially made that out to believe, but made that out to sound like. But look how many deeds we have. Did we just literally jump from, like, no deeds to enough deeds to immediately buy the bank? I think we did. Then we could buy the bank, right? I don't think I need to say anything. I needed the portraits. Okay. Okay. Not as bad as it sounds. We're gonna need those eventually anyway. I mean, look, things like alter the light, other things. We'll want those, but that is a little annoying. Okay, that's all right. But now we know. That's actually a lot harder to get to than it seems like. 50 portraits is a lot harder to get than 50 deeds. So, you know, deeds stack in stacks of 6 and portraits stack in stacks of 3. I'm glad I picked up that one set of 3. All right, let's see what we got in here. We already have that item. Bloodthirst Ring, minus 100% food consumed. Okay, plus 10% max health. Okay, minus 24%. No. Life Crystal we gave up earlier. I don't care about any of those items. Let's see at characters what we got going on here. Oh, a Vestal. I really want a Vestal again. Quick Draw's fine. The Yips is bad, but I don't really care because he's usually a support. Germaphobe is pretty dumb. Like, I don't really like that either. Serviceable. I could definitely see taking her. I don't care about any of these abilities. Hard Skinned is fine, but not the greatest on a character who's actually more of a dodger. Precise Striker, extra crit on melee skills. I still don't understand. It's melee skills, right? So the question then is an ability, like, okay, so what I'm thinking about is Retribution. Retribution is a melee skill. So if you hit them, it's going to have a higher % chance to crit. The question is Riposte part of that skill? So that anytime when a person hits you, he has a 5% chance higher to crit when he hits back. Although, I might just take him anyways, because this dude has Risk Taker. Like, what the heck? Risk Taker's incredible, so might just be worth picking up off that alone. Who would I drop if I was going to drop? I don't want to just drop people who are, like, you know, got the Crimson Curse, because all my Crimson Curse people are pretty high level. I really just need to go take them. We're not at a stage anymore where I just want to drop Crimson Curse people anymore. Most of these people are actually serviceably decent characters. Well, I mean, some of them have terrible quirks, but they're all level 3s, and I'm not just going to drop a bunch of level 3s just because it's annoying to deal with their blood problems. It's just, you know, we're essentially like rolling the, you know, the stone down the hill in Sisyphean task, you know, bring it right back up the hill. We're going to have to deal with that multiple times over and over and over. I'm not going to do that. So what I'll probably do here is just sort my people, see what classes I have. Okay, I did already take them out of that list. See what classes I have, and then see if there's anybody who I have like 2, 3 of, or only 1 of, and anybody I would like to get rid of. Okay, I got 1 of it. Looks like most everybody. Anybody I have 3 of? Okay, so I have... Oh. Plotter's good. It's got like 80,000 bad things. Intalent only meditates fine. Deviate Taste is fine too. Compulse is bad. Automatanophobia is not good either. Warden's Phobe is mediocre. Eldritch Slayer's good. So these are... He's actually okay. Okay, so the thing is, on this character, he's got Clotter, which is really good. And it's, I think, better than Eldritch Slayer on this class. Generally, Eldritch Slayer's better, is just good on everybody. The thing about this character is he's sitting on a good quirk and a quirk that is not good but not terrible. And then this character is sitting on 2 bad quirks, like just outright bad quirks you want to get rid of the second you get a chance. They're not locked, though. But he is sitting on 2 bad good quirks, right? Quirks that I'd be fine with locking. And I do like Clotter. If I was going to choose between the 2 of these characters, I mean, seriously, I probably would actually choose to keep Burin. Because even though he has more bad quirks, he has 2 good ones that I would want to lock. And then Clotter's a good one to lock as well. And then after that, we've kind of got like a guy getting started here. I probably would. Now, the other guy I was looking at, though, this guy, we said he had what? He had Risk Taker. Is it worth taking this guy just because of Risk Taker over Eldritch Slayer? The thing, see, here's the thing. If you lock a bad quirk, okay, so ideally, the best things to roll, in my opinion, the best things to roll are bad good quirks, or good bad quirks first, and then good quirks. And then after that, you want to essentially, like, kind of, I want to say individually determined based on the character, but I would much rather see a good bad quirk on a character, because I can always unroll or re-roll or do whatever you want to say, just do missions and randomly trade quirks for other quirks that I play out the character. They'll just randomly get replaced by other quirks. But if I have a bad, or a good bad quirk and I lock that, that's forever. Unless I interact with a curio that gets rid of it, which is a whole other animal. But, I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation, because like I think all 3 of these guys are arguable. I really do think Burin's the best out of the 3, which is weird because he has the most bad quirks, but I just don't really... I mean, Eldritch Slayer is one of the best quirks in the game. It just flat out is. But it's like, is it better than having a guy who already has a Risk Taker? Because he's going to get plus 10% damage all the time. And I don't care that he doesn't dodge. Think about it. On this character, he hits somebody with Retribution. has repost. Everybody that swings in this AoE has a higher chance of hitting him than anybody else because he's lowered his own dodge from Risk Taker. And he's just hit me. I'm going to hit you for more back in the repost. That's actually incredible on this character. He gets hit, deals more damage back, and has a higher percentage chance of getting hit by AoE than anybody else on his team, which triggers the ability. As long as it's not like a non-combat ability, like an AoE stressor or something like that, like a howl or something. I actually do think that's good. 18 more. He doesn't attack though. Not much either way. Well, that's not necessarily the case. When you're thinking of the Man-at-Arms, I guess it depends on what kind of an attack you're talking about. Are you talking about a literal attack, like what I was talking about earlier, the thing I can't verify that I was talking about earlier, which was, what, the Precise Striker? Right? Like, Precise Striker, like, you know, whatever, I don't really care about this ability. If it rolls away, I don't care about it. But Risk Taker, though, does obviously work on him, which I don't have any doubt at all that you were referring to Precise Striker. I honestly don't have a good answer here of what it really sucks because I feel kind of bad. I'm like, what do I do? Because Eldritch Slayer is just always good. He doesn't, okay, like melee skills that do damage. Oh, you're saying he doesn't attack often. Yeah, okay, see, I disagree. I use this guy to attack a lot. Half of his, whenever I bring the Man-at-Arms into my team, I don't use him, like, there are a lot of people that use him as essentially just like, they use Defender, and then they use Retribution, and then they use Command, and then they'll use Bolster. I actually really like Rampart. Like, a knockback stun, and then there's an item that you can actually use with this one that increases his chance to knock back and increases his chance to stun. It can just get really good. You can play this guy as like an off stunner and have him be your, like, you know, your guy that just, you know, applies, and he can also occasionally kill somebody with it too, like, and just be kind of your off damage dealer. Like, he's not like in the same way that, you know, in the last mission our Crusader was the off damage dealer to the bounty hunter. It's not that level of like off damage dealer. It's more like incidental damage, but it's higher. If there were like 4 tiers, like high damage dealers are obviously going to be like, you know, your lepers and your abominations and your other things like that, and then you've got like the next tier down, which is like Crusaders, things like that, that deal a lot of damage to specific situations, specific targets, and they deal raw damage, but they kind of get screwed by like raw protection. And then you got the next one on that list, which is like this guy, right? He's kind of like the occultist. They can deal damage, but that's not their main focus. And then you've got the just trash damage dealer, and that's like the Vestal or the Antiquarian, who can't do anything damage wise. I think this guy can actually do a little bit, but the primary purpose of having him like deal melee attacks is, remember, again, I guess we're still talking about Precise Striker. Precise Striker is not great on him because he's not going to be, you know, using melee skills, right? Like, and I think that's what we're saying. I'm not trying to argue with you on this point. I'm trying to argue to your point here. You're saying that this is not great on him because he's not using melee skills often. I agree, but I am saying that he has more melee skills than people give him credit for. Case in point here, like Crush is a better ability than people give it credit for. It's not as good as Finish Him, but Crush can literally reach the 3rd slot. There are not a lot of melee abilities in the game that can reach slot 3. There's like, if it bleeds, I think, can reach slot 3, right? Yeah. And then there's the everything the little Jester can do. The Jester doesn't hit slot 1. The Jester's a dork. He hits slot 2 and 3. He's a weirdo. But slot 3 is actually a lot harder to hit, I feel like, than any other slot in the game. It's just an annoying slot to hit. Well, slot 3 and 4, but for different reasons and different characters. Obviously, like, you know, Iron Swan hitting slot 4 is the obvious example of something that hit slot 4 but not slot 3. But I don't know. I need to make a choice though and stop talking about it because, oh, actually, I guess I could just completely kick the ball down the court and see if I can just increase the size of my barracks. Now that I have 8,000 of these deeds, let's do it. I don't have to think about it now. I'll take Prescott.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
And I'll take Margus here. It makes it easier. Don't have to think about it. No thinking here. And I'm not going to take the other 2 people because I'm just not going to end up using them. They're going to get released anyway if I do. Hard Skinned is okay. Healer's Gift is not good. Stress Eater's not good. I mean, it's... If Stress Eater got locked, I wouldn't care. In terms of, like, worst perks to lock in versus the best, Remember, I'm talking about negative quirks, so that's an intentional flip. Worst quirks to best, like Stress Eater's like down here. It's not the best quirk to lock, that's a bad quirk, but it's like, if it gets locked, I'm not going to be upset. Hylomania is trash. Same way with Cityomania. This guy's just going to like interact with every curio known to man. And he's also good in the Cove when this guy's like a bleeder, and Cove is all like huge amounts of bleed resist. This guy is a weirdo. He's a very, very unusable character. Alright. Now I guess I'll look really quickly and see if any of the people on my team need stress relief. Looks like a no, honestly. Does Bondeville... I guess Bondeville, I should probably take him to get rid of this bulimic real quick. Yeah, I think that one chick too. Yeah, Beinard, I think, wasn't she the one that had the worries and also had like some like extreme other thing? I forget its name. But yeah, I think she got... Oh, I guess we can always check our weekly events. Yeah, Beinard underwent effective disease treatment, and diseases were cured, both the worries and hysterical blindness. Yeah, both. That's really nice. Alright, so the question then is, what am I going to do with the other folks? Do they need to take some time off and do stress? I don't think they really need to, so probably what I'll do here is just roll with some people and just take them straight to the Crimson Courtyard. Bring 4 people with me, bring a stack of 5 blood, and just roll deep in this location and just try to push it. Is there anything else I'd want to do if I wasn't doing that? Dark Tambourines. What is this? Kill 1 hag. Oh, the second tier version of that boss. I do want to get the Beast Slayer's ring at some point. And Gentle Tide's also not a joke, because that would make the next mission there easier. How's this? All Saints Day. That just makes all the treatment in the Abbey free for a week. Look at this. We're now rolling champion level missions here. Lock of Fury, plus 10% damage, plus 3 speed. Solid item. Not what we're really worried about. This really is a good item, too. I mean, it doesn't look incredible. It looks kind of boring and innocuous. But honestly, again, remember, the Abomination isn't critting most of the time anyways. Like, his Rake doesn't crit. It has minus 2% crit mod. He doesn't crit with this ability. So it just deals a lot of base damage and increases his flat damage every time. So this ability just increases that. So you just rake, and you're not critting, but you hit like a truck, and it's consistent. There's no surprise, huge damage, but it's coming for you. I think if I was going to pick a mission, although Medic Spooch are goofy. If I was going to pick a mission here, while I do like the Beast Slayer's ring, I think the only thing that I actually really want to do at all on this map that even looks remotely okay is the Baron. I do want to do this. Alright, but we are at 3 hours, so I'm going to take a break. I might come back and play some more here in a bit, but I'm not going to make any promises. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a legitimate outro, because if I take a break and I choose not to come back, then I'll have my bases covered. So just going to say goodbye, all that, and then if I do come back, and I can cut that out of the main video, but then it might let you know. I need to start getting used to doing stuff like that. It's just kind of, it would be good for me, because I've struggled a few times when I was editing to actually have a proper outro, because I'll be like, I'll come back in 15 minutes, and then I don't. And it's like, oh, what's my outro going to say? All right, so we're going to do that now, and we will see if I play a game after this. But all right, so, well, that's going to be it for tonight, guys, and if you want to see any more episodes like this or any more content like this, head over to the Blue Titan Gaming, and that will have the short form content that's highly edited as well as shorts. And if you want to see long format content where there's no edits, there's no cuts, and there's all behind the scenes, and there's me rambling, talking at length about things, and also talking to Twitch chat and YouTube, things of that nature, you can head over to the Blue Titan Gaming VODs. Very similar looking channel. Icons are the same. One says gaming in the bottom, the other one says VODs. You will know you're in the same place if the icon, the little Spartan helmet, looks the same. So, all right. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And until next time, I'm the Blue Titan, and make sure you bring enough provisions. Bye.